Okay. Well, unfortunately, Miss Parker's alive, so I'm kind of stepping on her toes. Unfortunately, I said that I was going to be going live if G-Man didn't let me in his stream, so that's what I'm doing. So let's go ahead and get into this. G-Man decided to, let's see here, what was it? Friday night, I think? April 15th? Yeah, so Friday night. Sorry, Thursday night. G-Man decided to... Oh, hey, Honey Badger, how you doing? But yeah, G-Man decided to go ahead and attempt to call out Vaughn. And as soon as he was done with that, me and him got into it because I was trying to explain to him that, attacking somebody's gods by calling them, well, I think G-Man, well, Gentleman Pioneer was basically talking about how Vaughn was comparing Yahweh to Moloch, and Gentleman Pioneer was getting a little irritated about it. Well, needless to say, G-Man was having issues understanding him, so I tried to use an analogy, which of course never works, and come to find out that he apparently didn't understand the analogy, and then he started attacking me. So I'm gonna go ahead and share that real quick. That way we can see that. Let's see here. What the hell is this thing called? Disinformation. Sorry, I have a lot of tabs open right now just because, I brought receipts. Yeah, let's do it this way because this will make it a lot easier. Bring it up there, and I will just share that screen. Okay, and just letting you guys know, if you guys do have a wrench, no blocking unless they're just like spammers. I don't even care if they're trolls, just spammers. Okay, there we go. Let's try that. Okay.
See, that's different, David Anthony. When you just saying pagan things, I want to give two S's if Vaughn say anything pagan on the channel. He does say plenty of things pagan, but when you direct it towards me, you personally talking about my religion. That's the only problem I have with him. I mean,
and again,
that's what I meant.
And again, he's a pagan who follows out the ball, and he's got a lot of nerve to be sitting there talking about
speed him up.
Babies and gods, considering the gods that he follows are directly into child sacrifice. And he can shake his head and say no all he wants. We can open up history books. We can go look at what pagans believe in, what they're doing at Bohemian Grove, which likes to talk about light and all those other things. And I will prove to him that since he has all of these different gods that he believes in, that he does follow some of them that believe in child sacrifice. Somebody's a baby, seeding babies and whatnot. Not on a spiritual level, you ain't doing it. Now you're claiming to be a pagan. And I would have told him this. What was that girl name that used to come on his YouTube channel? The one that was a pagan that was going after Vaughn too. What was that girl name that used to come on here? Lulu. I told Lulu the same thing. So,
well, she told Vaughn the same thing too. So
I really don't have an issue with her. I mean, there was a couple times her and me didn't agree with stuff. We had a little bit of an argument. I really don't. I mean, there's nothing she says I really care that much about.
Lulu's a danger to the lake of fire, just like Vaughn Helton. So Vaughn Helton knows my position when he comes on the channel. He knows he's talking to a Christian. He knows I take the Bible literally. And he knows when he comes in this room and he comes in with that nonsense, he's going to get stopped immediately.
And on your channel, he can respect you, just like the rest of us.
But when you make a video response, like Gentleman Pioneer was talking about, and it's directed towards us, today I'm talking about this. Tomorrow, today me and Gentleman Pioneer are talking about this. The Bible stuff, we not Matthew 1:19, and so many other people on here might actually see that video and decide that they want to go in on him for saying it.
But
that's the point I was also trying to make.
Crazy thing he wants to on his channel, and we can talk about it all we want.
Oh, sorry, I'll slow it down a little bit.
To take the attitude that he's out of line for saying
this isn't incredibly pertinent until.
I don't know.
There's two things I want to say about something that was done in my opening regarding Vaughn and that guy that said atheism is forever. I'll start with Vaughn first. Vaughn says don't listen to King James because he believes that he added a Bible verse to the Bible where it says that you suffer a pagan not to live. Vaughn Helton, I don't care what translation you read, dude. Go read the Torah, dude. That person that you're doing the show with, J-Dubs, believes that if you live in a land where you're worshiping foreign gods, you should be stoned to death if he's following Torah.
Well,
I'm just keeping it real, man.
The man claimed that the globe was started up by the Nazis. That the globe that says the Earth is round, that was started up by the Nazis, and we've got actual artifacts from like 200 years ago of globes. In fact, when I was a kid, I had a model of one of a globe from like about the 1800s or something.
That's because Von Helton don't know the difference between what you see today in the flat Earth society. That's why he's saying that. You don't know what he's talking about. That's why I rejected flat Earth initially. Because when even those guys came to me with that, I looked at the flat Earth society and I looked at the historicity of all of this. Flat Earth has been refuted a long time ago. People are just starting to.
Oh, so I was blocked just recently.
When I was like 10 years old, I had this piggy bank. It was a globe and it had like a bunch of old world names and stuff. And it looked like an old globe from like, back when we had wood.
Which is a pagan. For the person in the bottom, it says,
I don't
wish not to live. Which is a pagan.
That much credit for
Nazis did the globe. I'm going to be doing a video on Vaughn later because
I just don't give it a lot of credibility.
He can't keep his name out of my mouth either.
He's right about what he said about atheism. He's right about what he said about communism. If you disagree with that, that's fine. I'm just telling you, I agree with what he says regarding that. I'm not going to throw away the baby with the bathwater with everything that he said. I'm not going to do that.
He's getting that from the same Nazi propaganda that he got the flat Earth.
No. That's not true, sir. On this channel, and you might not have seen it, Carnivorous 8, but I have some videos on here called "The Truth About Atheism," and I got this from this channel. Hold on a minute, David Anthony.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm sitting here looking at the chat replay, and apparently Thursday, you can see my name right here in the chat. I was trying to tell him that his link was broken, but apparently, well, that was like an hour before that. But I tried talking to him earlier, and anything I typed didn't bother coming out. So
Carnivorous 8. There's a channel on here called Christmas is a Lie. I talked about this channel multiple times on this channel.
Oh, right? We're going to be getting into that tonight.
He has a playlist on here called The Truth About Atheism. I'm sorry. That channel is telling the truth. I research all of that.
No, that channel is confirmation bias for you. I understand that. Yes, I've already seen it. The problem is it makes the classic theist line that you guys know what's in our heads better than we do. And
no, we don't.
That is a
fallacy. No. It's a lot deeper than that. No. It's a lot deeper than that, my friend. It talks about where atheism comes from, the real purpose for World War II. It talks about a lot of things that I notice that online atheists don't even try to get into, and they try to avoid talking about.
It's because it doesn't apply to us.
Okay, let me ask you something. These European countries out there,
we go. Here's the argument.
That are supposedly atheists, right? All these crimes that are not committed.
There are 0 countries that are actually.
Well, I'm sorry, but
there are countries that have a majority population.
There are atheists on here who have argued with me that these European nations are atheists. Evidence for You is one of them who made the argument, and there are several of them. I'm fully aware of the YouTube channels that make that argument about these.
I have no idea who Evidence for You is, so I mean, I don't see how that applies to me either.
These countries that are predominantly atheists that have little to no crime, but the countries that have a lot of religion, has all the crime. I'm fully aware of those arguments. The problem is this: after World War II, before World War II, what was the state of that country? And after World War II, what happened? It became an atheist state with the Catholic Church as being the head church. Okay, I'm not dumb. I looked all of this stuff up. I also looked up on how atheists are learning how to be atheists too, and they're learning this from Jesuits. Like one day when we dedicate an entire show on this, we can talk about it. Then we can talk about how Bill Gates, who claims to be an atheist, is coming out saying things like, "I'm doing God's work" with a straight face.
Bill Gates tried to convert to, I believe it was Catholicism a few years ago because he's planning on running for president.
His opinion. You could believe anything you want.
The thing is none of that stuff applies.
And the thing is if I'm not mistaken, Zuckerberg just did that recently too. So I mean, the whole rich celebrity converting to a religion, that's just to make them more acceptable in media. Because I mean, if you look at it, just about every president that we've had that was openly atheist, they tend to get their numbers knocked down real quick. I mean, hell, they tried doing that with Bernie Sanders because he was Jewish. They turned around and tried to say that, oh, well, he might be an ethnical Jew, but he's probably an atheist.
Applies to me because my atheism is personal.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. We talk about that another day.
How does the atheist population in Norway apply to whether
you wouldn't be an atheist if it wasn't who was it? If Karl Marx wouldn't have received that check, I'm sorry, you wouldn't be an atheist today because atheists would have been dead to rights.
So I personally know Karl Marx.
Okay, so far we're at 2 claims. He's talking about he's talking about I wouldn't be an atheist because of Karl Marx, and then the first one was let's see here. Oh yeah, because apparently communism and atheism are the same thing.
New atheism today. Well, You're a product of what's being preached today. Everything
No,
from your argument from the problem of evil and all that other stuff is a product of what happened over there in
When have I
Russia.
given you that
And
argument?
we can get into that in the future. I don't want to get into it right now because that's not what the show's about. That's why I say you can't dismiss everything that Vaughn's saying.
No, I can easily dismiss it. You can't because it applies
No,
to
you
some
can't.
confirmation bias.
No, you can't. No, you can't. No, you
How
can't.
can you dismiss it?
It's getting to the point that it would be so easy. I'd be willing to go back and barter a debate with you again. That's how easy it would be. I'll pull out a document. Oh,
Well,
I didn't
James
know
isn't
that. And then I'll pull out
James isn't
another one.
responding to me,
Oh,
so
I
go
didn't know that. And then I'll pull out another one. Oh,
If
don't talk
Juan
about that
told me
because-
the sky was blue,
Fine.
I would have to walk outside and look up and see.
What's up, Vackle?
Yes, he did. He just said that I wouldn't be an atheist if Karl Marx hadn't gotten that check. That's, apparently I get a stipend of it or something like that because, apparently all atheists are communists too.
So again, the channel is called Christmas is a Lie. Go look at the playlist called The Truth About Atheism.
Oh, we're going
I've
to look
already
at
said
it.
It's all
garbage.
there. No, it isn't garbage.
Yeah, it
And
is.
you can't refute none of it.
It's literally Christian the confirmation bias propaganda. That's
Okay,
literally
so
what it
since
is.
it's Christian confirmation bias, let's talk about Epicurus. Now we're going to change the topic now.
Okay,
Since
fine.
you insisting on talking about this today, Epicurus, was he refuted? Yes or no?
No.
Was he
Who's
refuted? Yes
Epicurus?
or no?
Who's
Epicurus was the one who came up with the problem of evil. Was he refuted? Yes or no?
As far as I know, no. But the problem.
Okay,
with
so
evil-
you don't know.
No, hold on. Whoa.
You don't know about the channel. Then
Are you going to give me an answer, a chance to answer?
go ahead and answer it then.
Okay. As far as I know, no, he wasn't. He wasn't. But at the same time, the problem of evil is not what made me an atheist. So it does not apply to me.
It was the first or the second video on the playlist, and you're telling me
Okay, going back to the actual playlist. Yes, it's the second video on the playlist. The G-Man, we're going to watch it here in a minute, but G-Man apparently thinks that this digitized voice spouting, pre-typed poetry disproves the Epicurean argument. The Epicurean argument is also the precursor to the Euthyphro dilemma or the problem of evil.
that
Just to
it
catch
wasn't
everyone
refuted.
up.
They actually tell you who did the refuting. Go back and watch it again. It's not garbage, and you haven't actually watched it.
The man's
Okay.
right there.
Once-
Why don't
once
you
again,
keep
though,
asking?
The problem of evil did not make me an atheist. So how does this apply to
Oh,
me?
really? So
Yeah,
what exactly
What
made you an
made
atheist?
you an atheist?
By the way, did you start off being a Christian?
I grew up as a Southern Baptist.
So what made you, since you want to insist on talking about this right now, and I don't recommend we do it, I'm letting the audience know I'm willing to walk away and do this when he can be more prepared. I'm more than willing to do that.
I
up
don't
to
need
you.
to be prepared.
Yeah,
You're telling me that
prepared.
you're telling me that a man that I've never met is responsible for my atheism.
Yeah.
My mind is responsible for my atheism
No.
because
no.
my atheism is literally
Ideas.
that I don't believe the claim.
I don't know
My
about that.
life has nothing to do with my atheism. My
Are you a
atheism,
pastor of an atheist church?
my atheism
Are
does
you
not.
a pastor of an
Okay.
atheist church? Yes or no?
No, see, there's your problem right there. Okay, I am an ordained minister by the state, not by a church. I am an ordained minister with a small congregation of multiple really religious people.
So anyway, get more prepared and have this conversation with us.
That is a community. That's it.
I'm going to spare you
G-Man, you're going to regret saying that.
today, dude. And I'll
Okay,
tell you what,
my
Carter, if I was to have a
atheism
one-on-one
doesn't
conversation, I will bring all of the claims from Christmas is a Lie, and I know you're not going to watch it, but I will bring all of those claims over here, and we can talk about it. And I'm not even talking about the
Marry
juicy one.
somebody?
I'm not even talking about who trained a person like Matt Dillahunty to argue the way he's arguing. I know it was the Jesuits, and I can prove that.
Great. Do I argue like
And
that?
I also know why the atheists don't attack the Roman Catholic Church. Do you want to know why? Because atheism doesn't bring you to atheism. Atheism is eventually going to bring you back to Rome because all roads lead back there anyway, except through Christianity. So again, I would get a little bit more prepared for me because I'm going to bring the presuppositional argument with this as well. So again,
How does the
according to you-
presuppositional argument work?
Oh yeah, I was starting to
how
get
does the
heated.
presuppositional argument work? We will talk about that when you're more prepared.
Oh no, DD's already explained it, and he's already screwed himself over.
Are you talking about Darwin's deity?
Darth Dawkins, Darwin's deity, whatever he.
We're not talking about him. We're not talking about what he does
Okay.
and how he goes
The
about
thing is,
argumentation. I
the
don't
thing
agree
is,
with
he
I don't
started
agree with his
parodying
style.
Titan Brugengate, who is the original presuppositionalist.
No, he is not the original presuppositionalist, sir.
That's one thing that you'll be able to tell about me when I start getting really worked up. It's like my tongue grows just a little bit because my stutter gets really bad.
Okay. The way that argument works is an affirmation argument specifically for the people that are already religious. It doesn't do a dang thing against actual.
Sir, you're a presuppositionalist just like I am.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Why?
And I'll
Because I
prove it.
believe that reality exists and that I can learn from it.
Sir, you believe, in your naturalistic claims. We can talk about this another day, but you are a presuppositionalist. You have your own preconceived ideas about the world before we even get into the conversation. You're not going to ask me you're not going to take the time out to find out whether or not evolution is true because when you came into this conversation, you already believed it was true. You're not going to take the time out to find out what my claims are because you already got your views about what my claims are. You already have those pre-prescribed ideas.
I literally asked you what your claims were.
I believe that you know that God exists. You are suppressing.
And there you go. And see that right there.
That's what I believe.
See, I asked you what you believe. You tell me
Yeah.
what I believe.
Yeah,
That's
I know.
the dishonesty.
You're religious. I know
No,
you're religious.
I'm not.
Actually,
Oh, then why do you have a church?
Is my church religious?
Why do you?
Do I have?
Yes, it
Do I have
is.
a 501c3? My church
In
does not-
America, atheism is recognized as a religion.
No, it is not.
Yes, it is.
Atheism
Yes,
is
it
protected
is.
as though
Do you
it
know
were
what the
religion.
difference
Look
between
at
a
the wording.
denialist? Do you know what the difference between a denialist is and a skeptic? You know what the difference between the two is? Because I bet you believe you're a skeptic, right? You believe you're a skeptic, right?
I have a
Tell me
skeptical
something.
nature, yes.
Do you believe in scientism? Because you want to get into this and you say
No,
you believe in
scientism is a
it.
goofy word.
Oh, but you believe in it though.
No, I don't.
You believe in it,
No, I don't.
and it came directly out of communist Russia.
Okay, while
You
he's
believe
doing that, I'm
and
going
it
to double
ain't just
check something
you.
real
You're
quick
telling me
because
what
I did
All
forget
the
that.
atheists watching this,
So that's another claim real
and the
quick.
one who watches in the future believe it. I can prove it, and I'll do it in a one-on-one conversation with just me and you.
Scientism.
I guarantee you can't prove it.
Scientism is when they try to argue that science is the best way or the only way to be able to see to be able to understand the things that we see in this world or whatever. That's why they always asking for scientific evidence for everything.
Yeah,
I know
scientism
they're
is a
doing
word,
it.
is
This
a
has been
word
going
made
on
up by
since
a
Stalin. This has been going on since Stalin. You guys are being taught things that has already been refuted, like God knows how many
Stalin
different
was a
times.
Christian.
Stalin was an atheist.
Okay, so just to go ahead and debunk that one real quick, atheism must be treated like a religion under the First Amendment. The Establishment Clause not only prohibits governments from directly establishing a religion, but also prohibits them from favoring one religion over another or religion over non-religion. Therefore, it applies to the First Amendment as though it were a religion, but it is not actually considered a religion itself. So that's a nice quick debunking.
No, he wasn't. He was a Christian. He grew up in a seminary.
Gentleman Pioneer, you there, Gentleman Pioneer?
Yeah, G-Man. What's
Do
up?
me a favor. I believe that the thing is established between one or two witnesses. Remind me that the carnivorous ape said that Stalin was a Christian.
Well, he was his years of growing up, he was a Christian. I don't know when he became an adult, he was a Christian.
Well, that's not what he said, though.
Did I
not
not
what
say
he
he
said.
grew up in a seminary?
Hold up a minute. Hold on a minute. You said that Stalin was a Christian.
And he
I'm
grew up in a
aware of his-
seminary.
I'm aware
Oh,
of his
hold on.
Catholic background. All right. My thing is this.
I
Not
not
what
say
he
he
said.
grew up in a seminary.
Well, he was his own. What's
Do
up?
me a favor. I believe that the thing is established between one or two. Stalin was an atheist.
Yeah,
I know
scientism
they're
is a
doing
word.
this.
Is a
Been
word
going
made
on
up
since
by a
Stalin.
Let's
This
go
been
back
going
that
on
way I can
since
get the whole
Stalin. You guys are
context.
being taught things that has already been refuted, like God knows how many
Stalin
different
was a
times.
Christian.
Stalin was an atheist.
No, he wasn't. He was a Christian. He grew up in a seminary.
Gentleman Pioneer, you there, Gentleman Pioneer?
Yeah, G-Man. What's
Do
up?
me a favor. I believe that the thing is established between one or two witnesses. Remind me that the carnivorous ape said that Stalin was a Christian.
Well, he was his years of growing up, he was a Christian. I don't know when he became an adult, he was a Christian.
Well, that's not what he said, though.
Did I
not
not
what
say
he
he
said.
grew up in a seminary?
Hold up a minute. You said that Stalin was a Christian.
And he
I'm
grew up in a
aware of it.
seminary.
I'm aware of his Catholic background. All right. My thing is this: when the man died, he was a staunch atheist. He was a militant atheist. And you're saying that he's a Christian, then you put a period at the end. You didn't say that he was a Christian who deconverted into being an atheist.
Mm.
There's a difference. When you're talking to me, you
Yeah,
have to
Stalin was
remember
Greek
something,
Orthodox.
okay? If you say that he was a Christian, period, then I'm going to hold you to that claim. You have to say that he was a Christian and he deconverted and he became an atheist. Then put your period there. Because if you don't, I'm just going to repeat what you said to me. And you ain't going to tell me I strawmanned you. Because that's what you said. Okay? So you got on here and said that Stalin was a Christian. He was a militant atheist, sir. I know quite a bit about this guy and about Russia and the purpose of World War II, what was accomplished during World War II, because it's talked about there. And if you don't believe that the Catholic Church became a state church and that the Catholic Church didn't have anything to do with it, when we have a one-on-one conversation, bring your proof for that. Because I'm going to have mine. I assure you of that. I'm going to
I
have
would
mine.
love to hear your answer on that.
Okay.
Why did we?
So
have
are you
World
actually
War
going to allow me to continue the sentence, or are you going to put that
We-
period in there for me?
Stop it. You made the statement and then you put the period at the end.
No,
Don't tell me
you
it's my fault.
interrupted
Stop
me
it.
like you normally
No, I
do.
didn't. Stop it. No, I didn't. We're not going to have
Did
this
I not say
conversation
that
today.
Stalin was a Christian? He grew up in seminary. I took a breath. That was a comma, not a period. And then I got interrupted.
No, carnivorous ape. No. Those tactics ain't gonna work over here, dude. That might work on some other channels, but not mine. All right. The bottom
Okay,
line
fine.
is,
You know what?
I'm gonna
You
give
go
you
ahead.
time to
You
prepare.
go ahead and strawman me. When we do this debate, you're going to have to get a hold of James because he's not responding to me right now. But you go ahead and do this. And when we do this, I will make sure that I have my entire freaking presentation done. Therefore, when you
Yeah,
try to
that-
strawman me,
Stalin
I'm
was a
going to tell
Christian
you
back
you're wrong.
Yeah, that's the new thing. Yeah, Stalin was a Christian, but I guess what he's trying to say is Stalin was a Christian.
Okay, so that's the next claim. Then you're going to realize what all these tabs are up here for. So Joseph Stalin, that is an easy one. Let's see here. He was ordained a priest in secret after the revolution, and he had reported converted many of the imprisoned to Christianity as well. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, yeah, that's part of his anti-religious campaign. Stalin was an atheist. He called for the atheist 5-year plan. Yes, he had a lot of anti-religious issues. The thing is I do have, what is it? No, that's all other stuff. Unfortunately, I've got like 3 windows up too, so that doesn't really help me. Ah, they're there. Okay. Don't worry, I have everything that'll get me in trouble on the other monitor. There we go. Joseph Stalin. See here, he was named after Saint Joseph, was raised to be a priest. His father was a priest, and young Joseph spent 5 years in a Greek Orthodox seminary. So that's where that comes from. Let's see here. Stalin's father beat him mercilessly, and Stalin once described his childhood as having been raised under a poor priest-ridden household. Perhaps this contributed to his decision to become a Marxist revolutionary. So, yes, I am fully aware that Stalin was an atheist. The problem was he was a militant anti-theist. And the reason why is because as a child, he was beaten by his very abusive priest of a father. So again, Stalin has nothing to do with me. And let's see here. Blue. Yep, see? So that's the reason why I was wanting to play that, is because it's really hard for G-Man to admit anything like that, especially when he thinks that he's getting when he's right and nobody else is.
He became a pretty staunch militant atheist. You can see all the good he did with his atheist by destroying all of those churches and murdering all of those people. That was just a great human being he was, wasn't he? Dude, you don't want to go there with me, okay? But the main point that I want to make regarding Stalin is that the same science that you guys are preaching today was preached.
Now you notice I didn't actually deny that.
I'm not stupid. I know all about that. Just because I'm here talking about Bond, don't mean I magically forgot about all of that. All right? I want to put that out there. I'm being nice.
But did we know about genetics in communist Russia?
Yeah.
We did.
Really? We did.
Okay, I'll hold you to that.
Maybe not as much. Maybe not as much as the way we understand it today. But yes, they understood genetics. Yes.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and open that one up, because I want to see if that's actually correct, and I want that reaction live, because I'm not even sure on that one. When was genetics discovered? 1905. Okay, so I guess we did work. Oh, Mendel's work. Okay. Wow, this is showing genetics is actually all the way back to Darwin. Interesting. Well, so that was one claim that G-Man was right on. How about that?
I'll hold you to that.
All right, let me.
You're going to try and strawman me to this. I'm going to hold you to that.
Guys, hold on. Let me say this.
Wait a minute. German Pioneer. 1 second. German Pioneer.
Sorry, hold on. Let's see here. That was actually just a little bit earlier. His answer to the problem of evil is it's been taken care of. He can't give me the answer.
1 second. Hold on a minute. I'm pretty sure they knew the difference between a Russian and a German. Yes, they knew about genetics.
That's right? Ethnicity, not genetics.
Again, they knew about genetics. I am not an evolutionist. I don't even believe in that race nonsense. The only reason I talk about it because the rest of the world.
Whoa.
Evolutionists believe in that.
No.
Yeah, when you're running a race.
Get ready for this one.
Oh, really? Who are the Canaanites? Who are the Canaanites? Who are the Israel? Who are
they?
The
are a people, a tribe, a group of people. When you people are talking about race, and I mean when I say you people, I mean evolutionists. You guys are talking about skin color. I know what you got.
Okay, so G-Man, you and Veckel and the rest of your little clown car posse, you've had this discussion about race before. And I do recall distinctively saying, "Oh, well, the Hebrews were a different race than, say, the Canaanites and everyone else." And I do believe even the Ethiopians were brought up, and a few others. Now I couldn't find that video, but that's a flat out lie. You do believe in race.
I was talking about. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Okay.
Yes, you are.
Okay. Can I jump in real quick? I'm
No,
actually
because I don't want this to go any further. I actually want to nip this at the butt. Carnivorous Ape this weekend. If I'm not doing nothing, I will have this one-on-one conversation with you, and we can talk about whether or not the channel's a lie, because you say you saw it, and yet you didn't even know that Epicurus was refuted.
No,
Both
I
his
wanna,
arguments.
I wanna,
It
I
made the
The first
claim-
argument that Epicurus made was
It
that
made the claim
pleasure
that
was
Epicurus
the.
Oh, here you go.
defeated. Okay, that's the
Epicurus was
problem.
defeated a long time ago.
No, the argument of evil is still a valid argument.
No, it is
hold on.
not. It was a
G-Man.
poem and it got destroyed a long time ago, dude. You better go do your research before you talk to me, dude. I'm telling you.
Lubis, I'll block you
Carnivorous
myself
Ape.
if you say that.
Carnivorous Ape.
It was a
Hold on,
poem.
man.
It was nipped in the
Hold
butt.
on.
It was refuted
Hold on.
already.
I think
Hold
you
on,
mean
'cause we
bud.
just yelling at each other. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. What G-Man was referring to is when I'm actually driving, so you gotta excuse me if I'm sounding really low. It's actually when you know when Russia and was Stalin called for the atheist 5-year plan. I don't know if you knew about that. I think it was
Yes, I'm also
1932.
aware that he reconverted and started using the church to control the country.
No. He used the church to control the country. No, G-Man, he's right. He used it to control.
Okay. Obviously, G-Man's going to do his giggle fit. What I meant by that, the history that I was given with Stalin, and this may be accurate or inaccurate. Publicly, he did claim that he had reconverted. Okay. The claim was that he had reconverted to, believe it was either back into the Greek Orthodox Church or Roman Catholicism, because he then started using the church afterwards. He started putting his essentially his friends into positions of power in the church to continue running the church as the way he wanted it to be run. Okay. I used to have that particular set of web pages, but then, you know, most of those tend to wander off. I don't generally save stuff like that, but that's what I was trying to explain. And of course, you know, G-Man likes his little giggle fits.
Oh, look,
During
I'm
the
right
war.
now.
Hold on, Carnivorous Ape.
Woo,
He
this
used to
is
control
gonna
the
be
country during the war.
Yes.
Only during the war, because after World War II was over, he saw that the church was gaining more we call it more followers. So what did he do? He called back for the atheist policy, and he enforced a religion
What church did he
on the
follow,
official state
Carnivorous Ape?
policy.
Carnivorous Ape,
Well,
what
it
church
was
did he
the
follow,
Orthodox
Carnivorous
Church.
Ape?
Huh?
Carnivorous Ape, what church did he follow, Carnivorous Ape?
Because they was persecuting Christians in Russia.
What
after the
church
war.
did he follow, Carnivorous Ape?
Are you talking about Stalin?
What
Yeah.
church did he follow, Carnivorous Ape? Come on. let me get
I
the
heard the question. Are you talking about Stalin?
seat. Yes, I am. What church did he
Eastern
follow?
Orthodox.
Okay, so basically he was a Catholic.
I was
So
wrong.
at the
Greek
end of the day,
Orthodox.
sir, and by the way, don't give me that Eastern Orthodox and Catholics are two different people and whatnot. So he was basically a
They
Catholic.
believe they are.
All right. The Jesuits are Catholics too. All right. So stop it. That argument is not going to work. And if you're going to debate me,
Jesuits
I
use
highly
the-
recommend Carnivorous Ape. This is what I'm trying to help you do. Go watch
Really?
the full playlist of Christmas is a Lie before you say that it is garbage. When I had my entire audience,
Blue, the reason why I have this is probably going to be about a 2.5 hour stream. The reason why I have so many tabs open is because I've watched that Christmas is a Lie playlist that he tried to tell me to watch. And we're going to pick apart each and every one of those things because it is a freaking rabbit hole and it is ridiculous.
that was watching the video. This is interesting. I didn't know that. That's actually true. You did not watch that playlist. I know you didn't. So you better go look at it before you debate me. Because like I said, I'm gonna be pulling up stuff. I'm like, well, that's not true. Look at this. Look at this. And by the way, I know
Okay,
that
so you want me to debunk that argument?
I
That's the
want
problem
you.
there.
G-Man, you
Let's
just
go
gotta
back,
hit him with
let's
the
go back
facts,
to what was
G-Man. G-Man, just hit him with the facts. The facts is that
Hold on a
when the
minute.
war was over, Stalin persecuted Christians. He can't tell
The
me
bottom
that's
line
wrong.
is that this all started because you said that everything that came out of Von Helton's mouth was wrong, right? That's what you said, Carnivorous.
That's factually accurate.
Hold on a minute. Then I told you that
That
I
is
agree with
factually
him
accurate.
regarding atheism, communism, Marxism, and then you said that he was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs on those things as well. Then I told you about the Christmas is a Lie YouTube channel when me and him both watched it and we universally agree with what we were watching, right? I was saying a lot of those things before I even knew anything about that YouTube channel. That was just confirmation that the things that I was saying all these years was
I agree.
correct.
Confirmation bias.
So you can say, okay, so the bottom line is when you say that he's wrong, if I bring up the problem of
Hey,
evil right now, it should be able to be a strong argument. There's nothing that exists that debunked it in the past, according to you. If you debate me and you're not aware of that, you're gonna look silly. I'm gonna mention a name and that's gonna be it. That's gonna be it. There is no problem of evil. Not according to that ridiculous nonsense. Dude, I did a documentary on Matt Dillahunty and I brought up the problem of evil. I actually made an individual video on the problem of evil. I got several of them. In the Great Debate days, we buried that nonsense alive. Okay? And before I was born, people were destroying that argument. Before you was born, people were destroying that argument. You need to go look this up, dude.
So the problem is with the problem of evil, I could easily flip that to us having an all-powerful evil guy and using the problem of good to justify it. Are you aware of
No, you
that?
can't. No, you
Yeah,
can't.
Rationality
Because number
rules.
one, if we're going to go by the actual claim, sir, what is the claim about the Christian God? Define them.
Okay. Pardon. So what I was talking about there, Rationality Rules was a channel that I generally used to watch, and he popped off one that he turned around and gave he gave a literal reverse of the problem of evil and called it the problem of good. And that I mean, that was literally it, and it made just as much justifiable sense as the problem of evil does when a Christian tries to rationalize it. So that's what I was trying to explain here. But of course, G-man, words are hard.
Define them. If you want to
What?
do this now, define God before you can even say another word to me. Define him.
Which God?
The God of the Bible. That's the one we're talking about, aren't we?
Okay,
You're talking
you've
about
defined
Epicurus
it.
here.
You've defined him. The
No,
God.
no,
of
no,
the
no,
Bible.
no, 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 no.
Yep.
You must define him. If you're going to sit there and say that you can flip the argument, then you must know the definition of God. What is it?
Okay, and I said that a maximally evil God. Okay, I did not say the God of the Bible, did I?
Guys,
I can
what said
easily
at the beginning of
use-
this video.
I can easily use the reverse of the argument from evil.
What is the
And-
definition of God?
What?
What's the definition of God?
Which God?
The God of the Bible, dude. Epicurus made an argument against the God of
Circular
the
argument.
Bible.
Circular argument.
Epicurus
Okay.
made an argument against.
Epicurus did not make an argument against the God of the Bible because the Council of Nicaea had not approved a particular Bible then. Okay, Epicurus made an argument against a triomni God. That's the issue that G-Man doesn't quite understand. He thinks that argument is specific to the Christian God, and it's not.
Against the God of the Bible. Please explain to
That-
me what
That
the definition
argument,
is.
that argument against the God of the Bible can apply to any God who matches the criteria, which is all powerful,
The
all
God of the
knowing, and
Bible,
all
the God of
all
the
good.
Bible, the God of the Bible does not fit that criteria. That's the funny thing about it. Not the criteria that he put together. That's not the proper definition of God. What is the definition of God? This game's over already. We can move to the next topic if you want. You don't know what the definition of God is, and if you don't know what the definition is, then how in the world can you say that?
You define God
Come on,
by
man.
using the Bible.
You can't do it. You can't do it. Okay, so define them then. Define the God of the Bible.
The Bible defines God. That's how you guys do it.
Oh my goodness gracious! That's not how we do it. That is not how we do it, Carnivorous. Now you're lying through your teeth.
Okay, Todd, you're a seminary. Do you want to go ahead and explain that? Because the last time I checked, a worshiper or a theist defines the God they worship. Am I right? Israel had multiple gods when Epicurus made that statement, that argument. Okay, see, there you go.
No,
That's
Why
not how
don't
we do
you,
it,
why
dude.
don't you define it, G-Man?
No.
go ahead.
no.
Give me a definition.
The reason, hold on a minute. The reason
That
why
way, I'm
I'm
not
asking,
arguing against some son.
the reason why I'm asking you,
Actually, here, Todd, I'll get you the link. See here. Crap, I think my Discord is up. Yep, there it is. Damn it. Look away. There we go. There you go, Todd. I sent you the link in Discord.
hold on a minute. The reason why I'm asking him to define the God of the Bible is because he made the outrageous claim that he can flip the script on what Epicurus said and it would still make sense. In order for that to be true, I need to hear what the definition of God is. And I know he's Googling it. All right.
Yeah, Googling it. Yeah, because that's what I always do.
Hey, you Googling the definition of his God.
Yeah, because that's something you can do.
Yeah, we were mostly talking about the Greek gods when
Mhm.
Epicurus and Socrates were debating. We're talking about 400 BC-ish.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. Is the
There's no God in the
Epicurean
Bible.
argument was
Yeah. It would be more Zeus, the omni god, the father of the
Mhm.
gods, the most powerful god, if you will, was the argument.
But I mean, we're up to, what is it, like 4 or 5 claims now?
Yeah, at least. I mean, I think you had a great point. You could just as easily say Loki, the trickster god, or Satan. You could
Yeah.
argue for and say it's all evil and the problem of good. Proves that he's all evil because we've debunked it.
Lubus over here. Why in Discord? That's because I prefer to only have certain people that I trust in here, Lubus. If you want a link, I can drop it for you. But considering my last vegan video, I've got a couple of people in here that apparently like to argue with me a little bit too much.
Yeah.
But anyways, go ahead and finish up this claim real quick.
Okay? So when we have the conversation, Carnivorous 8, listen to me. When we have the conversation, you need to bring the facts. If you're not going to bring the facts, dude, you're going to bring that typical nonsense. Dude, I'm going to bring back the Great Debate Days. You're going to find out, dude. I'm telling you, you're going to find out real fast.
Okay. But what's the problem with you defining it?
Because you made the claim.
Yeah. So define the God, and I'll show you how I
can. On you. Hold on a minute. The onus is on you. If you're going to say that Epicurus was right, then you have to know the definition of God. Define God, and then look at the definition of Epicurus used.
Okay.
You don't even know the argument.
Why don't you define the God? That way, I'm not strawman.
You don't even know the argument. No, what you're trying to do is a typical atheist
Yep.
one.
See, there goes the the throwing in the background and everything like that. So
everything on me.
This is when I was starting to get irritated.
That's what you want to do.
I'm sure.
What you can't do that. So we're gonna so this Saturday or Sunday, guys. It's probably gonna be either Sunday or Tuesday or something like that. We're going to do a show. It's going to be me and Carnivorous 8, but we're going to have a discussion based on what we see on Christmas is a Lie. And we're going to find out which one of us actually watched the actual playlist. And we're going to see who actually did their research.
You are going to regret that, G-Man. I love that statement right there. Yeah. That's the one I was waiting for. G-Man didn't watch the entire playlist. Because if he had, he would have realized that entire Christmas is a Lie channel puts atheists and creationists as both fake and both on the same two sides of the same coin. And that's what I'm going to have fun with, because G-Man's that entire thing, as much evidence as it gives against atheism, it gives for it actually gives more evidence for the fact that young Earth creationism is a pagan cult started within the Counter-Reformation movement. And it is absolutely glorious.
Which one? Remember the claims that he made in this video.
But I'll go ahead and play this for just a little bit.
You're wrong, dude, on this one. You're wrong. All right? You said that everything you saw in that playlist is wrong. Go look at what's actually being said. Go look at it. Let me ask you a question. Why don't you go after the Catholic Church?
I do.
You do?
Yes.
What arguments? What arguments?
Me and Fiona have had a lot of discussions about that.
About what?
Faith. The reason why I don't trust the Catholic Church. Let's see here. Altar boys.
Why? Okay, so in my video, I talked about that. The sexual sins of the Catholic Church. What's the other thing that you disagree with?
The entire concept of faith. Why would you want to be belong to a church where they literally practice essentially spiritual cannibalism?
Okay. So you're talking about transubstantiation, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So in my video that I made about this, just for clarification for people that's watching this, there's only two things that the atheists attack.
Only two things. I just named three.
Yeah, you can throw in idol worship too.
Yeah. Okay. It's going to be
idol worship, Hail Marys, and everything like that.
Transubstantiation and the sexual sin.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the only two things that you attack. You guys go after fundamentalists who believe in the literal interpretation of the Bible.
Okay, that right there, I've never hidden that from G-Man. One of the very first streams I jumped on there about. I have three issues. I have issues with young Earth creationists, the fundamental ones. I have issues with flat earthers, and I have issues with vegans. Okay, I have never hidden that. But he somehow thinks this is like something new for me.
Yeah, I would.
But Fiona got.
I would prepare for any interaction you actually have with G-Man by clipping out that bit where he said Epicurus made an argument for the God of the Bible.
Yeah,
throw that in his face because 340 BC.
Yeah, because the Bible was a thing back then.
The Pentateuch might have been written by then, maybe. We don't really know. But certainly the rest of the Old Testament wasn't, and the New Testament wasn't even close.
Oh, yeah.
More in common than you think.
Okay.
I agree. That's one of the reasons why I don't have any videos.
Yeah, because they believe in secularism just like you.
No. It's because, with the exception of faith and
Skull and Bones, people.
Me and David get along fairly well.
You two getting along fairly well, and you two believing in the same doctrine are two entirely different things. Again, evolution, you have not been able, you or nobody else, as far as I'm concerned, has been able to prove that mutations is a good method to prove that evolution is actually true. Nor is the fossil record, nor is any other things that you guys talk about on that. You haven't been able to prove using science that God doesn't exist.
prove using science that God doesn't exist. Once again, you can't use a natural science to prove a metaphysical negative.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just absolutely redundant.
Prove using science that universe creating pixies don't exist. You can't.
Peter down here stating facts to G-Man will make no
Good point.
difference.
We're about to get to the cosmology stuff, aren't we? That he lumps in with evolution.
Oh yeah, that's
always
and-
fun.
yeah. I'll go ahead and I'll let that play, but I want to make that perfectly clear. It's like I'm not Neil deGrasse Tyson. I am not Lawrence Krauss. Okay,
You don't have to be. Yeah.
my passing understanding of the Big Bang was we can measure to just after it. We can't measure all the way back to it.
We don't know what happened before the Planck time, which is
Yeah.
10 to the minus 26th of a second, or something like that.
Oh, you can't
That's
prove it
because
negative.
that's not something
Yes,
that science
you
can prove.
can.
Really?
Yeah,
So,
depends
so,
on your
so
talk.
God,
You say one
God
thing,
is
I represent
corporeal.
another.
God lives inside the universe.
God is outside of time and space.
Therefore, he doesn't exist inside time and space.
No, he does
Yes.
exist inside of time and space. He actually put on human
then where
flesh
is
and dwelt among us. Hold on a minute. He put on human flesh and dwelt among us. Okay,
Where's God?
and he's omnipresent. Hold on a minute. He's also omnipresent. Okay, and there's another flaw with the argument as well when you try to sit there and say that and whatnot. You atheists, the majority of the time, I would say about 100% of the time, always
Oh, my God.
God exists. And then when we ask you, when you make the statement that science can't prove anything, and we say, okay, give me another way to prove that God exists, you go, well, I don't know how you can do it. That's nonsense, dude.
That's because
There
God
is
can't be
no
proven
way
scientifically.
out, dude.
If
There's no
one
way
of
out.
the qualifications for God is that he lives without outside of time and space, then he doesn't exist inside of time and space. Therefore, he can't be
He's
proven.
also omnipresent. Do you understand what that means?
Yes, that means that he is present everywhere at all times. The
Right.
problem is he's also
So
incorporeal.
not only is he outside of time and space, but he's also omnipresent. And your
Okay.
finite mind is not going to be able to understand that.
Is he corporeal? Can I reach out and touch God's hand?
If he
And
allows
the
it.
spirit, unless he manifests himself in a material form, you're not going to be able to do that.
Okay,
That should be-
therefore I do.
that's common sense.
Therefore, I do
That's
not
common
have
sense.
a scientific way of testing that.
Yes, you do.
God-
It's called prayer.
How? Prayer is
It's
not
called
scientific.
prayer. The Big
Yeah.
Bang proves that God exists. There's a whole
Because prayer is scientific. You notice I was trying to get him to define God without him realizing he was defining him.
He believes in the omnis. That's pretty easy to debunk.
Yeah, he believes in the omnis, which is the reason why the Epicurean argument or the Euthyphro dilemma or anything like that actually applies to it.
Yeah. And it's easily debunked when you have an omni God.
Yeah,
When you have a maximally God, then you can get around it. But
yeah, but he doesn't follow that logic.
he doesn't know that nuance.
That's actually the thing is you can literally just walk around the Epicurean argument by removing one of those omni qualities.
Yeah.
But
bunch of different ways. There's a whole bunch of supernatural examples that you believe in that I
Those
can
aren't
prove that that's
supernatural.
God and not your scientific theories. I can prove that. And you want to have this debate now. That's the problem. I told you to prepare yourself.
No,
But
you're
since
just
you want to have
nonsense.
Where
No
did
answer.
the original matter, let me go to my brands over here. And since you want to go there, sir, where did the original matter and energy come from to create the bang? Where did it come from?
There was
before Planck time, before we even knew what anything was. So
Come from may not even be a coherent question. Because you're talking about where does something come from before time. And time to come from something is an action, and that would require time. It's temporal.
Yeah.
Can't talk about temporal things before time. Now, there may be an outside multiverse kind of theory where there's another time outside of our local time. But we don't know that.
We've got the the bouncing universe theory and string theory and the multiverse theory, and it's
Bubbles and all that. There may
Yeah.
be another space-time outside our local space-time.
so
We don't know. We can't look for that.
Yeah.
Present.
but at this point in time, it's like
Hey,
it
See,
doesn't
I don't
matter.
know.
It was all
Yeah.
energy.
the Enterprise D went to the
I just
Big Bang site.
Wait a minute, there was no
yeah,
matter.
there you go.
No, matter didn't
That's
exist
how we know.
for the Big Bang.
Okay, so that's what I was. Matter didn't exist at the time of the Big Bang. Am I correct in that one?
Yeah, it's all energy.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Because I know a lot of creationists, they love to screw up the rules of thermodynamics and say that matter and energy can't be created or destroyed.
Mhm.
And it's sorry, but we destroy matter all the time, G-Man. Matter gets transferred back into energy.
Wait a minute. So
Are you not aware of
remember,
that?
his ape says that matter wasn't there, but then scientists are saying that matter was there.
No, they don't.
No.
Somebody's not telling the
Who
truth.
says that?
Dude, okay, first of all, do you have a degree of biology or anything like that?
No, I have a passing understanding.
Degree in biology.
Give somebody.
Yeah, why would you need a degree in biology when you're
to talk
arguing
about
cosmology?
the Big Bang? Come
Yeah.
on. Come on, dude.
here with a degree who can come here and talk about this? Because Erica said one thing, Ava Dinosaur another one, you said another.
First of all, why would we need somebody with a degree?
Okay, Erica Gutsit Gibbon. I'm actually in a talk with her right now through email. We're gonna see about getting her on my channel here in May.
Yeah, she's a nice lady.
Oh, I love her to death. She's a great woman.
You know what I got a degree in, G-Man? Biblical studies.
And that's why you're here.
Woo.
But yeah, this is me trying to tell him. It's like, he's sitting there talking about Erica, Dapper Dino, and biologist, and it's like, why would we need a biologist to discuss cosmology? If I had access to Neil deGrasse Tyson and I wanted him in here, then granted, I'd probably be fanboying about it, but
I don't think there's any cosmologists in our community that I'm aware of.
No, I don't think so.
He thinks it's evolution anyway, so
yeah,
that's why he wants a biologist, I guess.
Degree in biology.
Hold on a minute. The black atheist, I forget his name, the one that studies the stars and everything and whatnot, Neil deGrasse Tyson or whatever, said another thing. None of you guys got the same information. So where did the original energy and matter come from to create the Bang?
Okay, the original matter came from the original energy.
Where did it come from?
The original energy came from the Big Bang.
Nobody knows.
Where did it come from?
Thank you, David.
As far back as we can get.
So again, Carnivorous 8. You ain't got no proof
There
of
we
that.
go.
It was a supernatural event. What caused the Bang?
At that point in
Nobody
time,
knows.
yes, I would have
Yeah,
gladly
because
taken it.
no, we do know.
No, we
My Bible
don't.
tells me in the beginning,
Your
God
Bible
created the
tells
heavens and
you
the
a
earth.
book says a thing.
Wait a minute, I got a biology book that told me that Darwin went on a voyage.
I don't remember. I don't remember who said that. I know it was one of the guys that was debunking,
Yeah.
or what was his name? Professor Dave, I think, is the book says a thing.
Ugh.
But
Oh, that's Apologia, isn't it?
no, Professor Dave.
Oh, no,
I think
Apologia debunks that guy quite often on his shows. Because I know what you're talking about, the atheist that plays the book says a thing every time he says.
yeah,
the book says
it's.
a thing.
I think I first heard it when he was debating debating Hovind.
Kent
Yeah.
Hovind. I was going to say he uses it against Kent Hovind because the book
Yeah.
says the thing. Ding. Apologia does da 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 for the Bible tells us so.
Yeah, and Apologia.
Da, 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 da.
Apologia says it too. That's
For the Bible tells us so. He's got a little
Yeah.
little meme there.
Yeah.
These nuts.
On a voyage because I wasn't there.
Yeah.
I got a book. Wait a minute, hold on a minute. You got a book that tells me.
Before he decided to boot me out of there again, I was trying to say, yeah, then you've got Vaughn sitting there telling you that Godzilla's a thing down there. So, who the hell are you going to believe?
Hmm.
But, yeah. Oh, did you hear he's actually already backpedaled on that one?
Oh yeah. He was just talking about a 50-foot lizard.
Yeah, now it's just a
Paul's
50-foot
got
lizard. Yeah.
like that's nothing.
That Darwin went on a voyage, okay? And then he looked at these birds and came to the conclusion that evolution was short. That's a short, condensed, small version of it.
No.
Okay? So
Okay.
if you can't use a book, then you can't use a biology book, okay? If I can't use a book, neither can you.
So how do we figure it out then?
Okay, so where did so what
You
caused
burn your
that?
book, I burn my book. How are we going to figure it out?
Well, I don't have to because I know an intelligence had to be involved in it.
Oh, no. That's a
What
guess.
caused the
That's a claim.
expansion? What caused the expansion? What caused it?
That's as far back as
How do you
we
get
get.
an anatomical
There was an
feature
expansion.
from mutations?
I love that. He jumping from one subject to another and thinking
Yeah.
that it's the same question.
He wants a cause with no temporality,
Hmm.
and that's illogical.
Yeah.
It's not coherent.
How do you get new anatomical features from mutations? Come on,
Yeah,
I don't know.
We've already been through this. The fish in
Reason why they
the
say
fish in the
there's
caldera of the
expansion.
volcano up in Washington proved that for you.
God.
No, it didn't.
Yeah.
No, it
Do
didn't.
you know why they say there's a
Okay, that particular one, I believe he was on with Nathan Thompson, and he was debating Fight the Flat Earth and Team Skeptic.
The fish
They-
in the
Yeah,
caldera.
when they cleaned out that lake in Washington, basically they did a study and they had fish that were originally armored, losing all the armored scales because the water was so dirty they just didn't need it anymore.
Yeah.
And then they cleaned out all the water, and you could actually see down into the water again. And suddenly, like over the course of 5 or 6 more generations, the population literally reverted back to the old thing where they started literally growing new scales.
Yep.
And I mean
That's called latent DNA, by the way.
yeah,
That coating was there because of prior ancestor species had it, so it was still there.
Yeah.
And it became advantageous, so it reasserted itself.
Exactly. And I mean that right there though is new anatomical features.
Right.
But you know, it's
Although
G-Man.
I don't know if that'd be the best example because it was, it's latent and it was present. So you have a species that had a thing, became something else, and went back to that thing. So that humans might be a better example, just skin color.
Yeah. Skin color.
Skin color changes with climate.
Oh, what the heck is it? The MR1A gene mutation or whatever it is.
Yeah, Drag's really up on that research, so he can help you there.
Yeah. But I mean, that's a new anatomical feature. That's
Absolutely.
because doesn't having lighter pigment help you with vitamin D absorption?
Yes. Yeah.
So-
It promotes survivability in the higher latitudes.
Yeah.
So the people that tend to thrive in those latitudes have more children, and after a few generations, most people have the characteristic. It's
Yeah.
basic evolution.
Yeah, and that's well, we know that G-Man doesn't understand evolution.
An expansion is because they
So-
can use
Are you evolutionist, David?
What?
Are you evolutionist?
No.
I was actually curious
Okay,
about
so you're
that.
gonna make excuses
I wasn't
for it,
aware
you're
that
gonna try
David
to
was a
help me,
creationist.
John,
Why they say what they say?
I already know why they say it because it deceives
Wait,
by
because-
saying.
you just
So-
don't
so-
want-
so-
you just don't want me to say it, do you?
No, go ahead and say what you got to say. Go ahead.
Okay.
I got my Bill Cosby thinking right
The
here.
thing is that they've proven that
Oh, yeah,
the
here we go.
universe is currently expanding using mathematics and that measurement of lights and stuff of distant stars and galaxies. They proved that they're
You're telling me what's happening. I want to know what caused the bang.
G-Man, by deductive reasoning, if they're moving apart, then they had to be moving from somewhere.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. No wonder you get D's and everything.
And that's the most disrespectful thing I've ever heard in my
Yeah.
life.
Pretty much.
Because that right there is just absolute horseshit, especially when he's doing that to another Christian.
True.
Why do you do that?
What
Why do you do
caused
that? I was
what?
just reading it.
caused what caused the bang? What
I wasn't
caused
answering
the
that.
bang?
I wasn't answering that. Nobody knows what caused.
Oh boy, here we go with the wolves. The
Uh,
wolves.
Hello, my gentle and modern apes.
I'm going to mute that for a second because,
Thank you.
A little bit earlier decided that they were going to disprove radio.
oh, yeah, that I'll skip ahead on this a bit because he's,
A heat problem?
yeah.
Nope. Because the arc, all the water insulated everyone in the arc from those 3,750 degree jets of water.
Okay, that's
gonna
the
work.
scientific descent from Darwinism.
In a wooden boat that would have never
Don't
floated.
people with such high standards and high academics don't believe in Darwin's theories.
What are the primary aspects that these scientists are skeptical of?
Okay, here's the other claim that I'm going to debunk real fast.
Oh yeah, the
Fell,
stupid thing.
accurately because they didn't have advanced microscopes like we have today.
Here's a
And
hint: most of them aren't biologists.
So if you can't observe the
Oh, I
very
know.
basic unit of what makes a human,
Physicists
and how they are, you really can't have a foundation for making a claim such as Darwin's theory.
I'm skeptical of the claim.
Not to mention, it's what, a few thousand
It's not.
among the-
It's barely 1,000. It hit
Yeah.
1,000 in 2019.
among the hundreds of thousands of scientists.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a minuscule amount, and they're probably just radical fundamentalists.
Careful examination of the evidence.
Yeah.
Darwinian theory should be encouraged.
Yeah, over 1,000
Over-
PhD
Oh,
scientists.
PhD scientists.
Uh huh. Okay,
University,
and
of course,
I
the University
was,
of Oklahoma's right there.
yeah.
Oh, God.
Okay. See, I saw chemical engineering, physics, nutritional biochemistry, statistics. This is the claim that he's that I was wanting to get at right here.
Well, you could be a biophysicist and be skeptical of Darwin.
Somebody's
Okay.
got an echo on here.
You
I don't know what I'm muting everybody.
You
Okay.
do.
So, y'all talking to me as if everybody in the scientific community believes evolution is true because that's not true.
Have you ever Googled Project Steve?
I don't know what that is.
He didn't like that.
That is a list even longer than that list of PhD scientists in the relevant field named Steve that understand the theory of evolution.
Sir, all of the people that's on that list are either biologists.
No, they're not.
chemists.
I saw
Sir,
physicists and
Sir.
Well, to be fair, he said either biologist, and he was about to say something else. But to be completely fair, but
I'll give
you
you
had a
that.
good point. A lot of them aren't biologists and had no idea about evolution anyway.
Scholars that I can show you at least one biologist on there. You said no, they're not.
no.
You have to
said
bet
all.
$1,000.
You said all.
No. Do you want to bet $1,000? And I went
You
on my
said
calculator.
all.
If I can go
You
to
said
the,
all.
Sir, I didn't say that. I said that there was chemists. I said that there were biologists on there and people from different fields. Lie again, and I will evict you from this room permanently.
You said
all right? Lie one more time and watch what happens. Okay? Stop lying. Okay? These are people who are chemists, biologists, and from various different fields, sir, who are saying that they are skeptical about the theory of evolution.
Okay, so his claim was that all of them are biologists, chemists, and people from various different fields.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very few of them are biologists.
Very, very few.
Again, I don't know how you can be a biologist and be skeptical of evolution. Not necessarily Darwin. You could be skeptical of some of Darwin's findings. That was 140 years ago. He made some mistakes. We didn't know everything then. Certainly not what we know now.
Let's see here. I'm pretty sure here in just a second, my son decided to walk in and ask for help with his homework. So I'm, right about there.
Yeah.
I'll give it another 2 minutes.
And I'll ask you this question again, which none of you, not even Thunderfoot, none of you can answer this question. And he's a scientist. How do you get new anatomical features from
I'm not answering that question. Don't even bother finishing it.
No, you haven't. You haven't answered nothing. You haven't answered those questions.
Did I say I answered it? Because I'm pretty sure I said I'm not going to answer it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You haven't answered it. When the pillbox was here, you would be finished in 12 seconds. So the bottom line is,
you're going to trust another flat earther?
It's not a hard question.
You wouldn't be able to defend evolution. Stay on topic, all right? So I asked you what caused the original bang, and I'm hearing about what they see that the universe is expanding, and they use deduction. That's great. What caused the expansion?
That wasn't the question I thought I was answering.
That wasn't the question either.
But what caused the expansion?
They don't know, G-Man.
No, they have a claim. I want to know if you guys
they don't.
No, we
don't. No,
I'm sorry. I'm not Lawrence Krauss.
We have hypotheses.
They claim that a certain amount of heat was generated, and it got so hot that it expanded. And during the expansion, it cooled down. And it's sad that I know this part.
Again,
and I'm not an evolutionist.
Again, he's looking
funny.
for a temporal answer.
It's fun. Well, on top of that, though, it's funny that he claims to know it and be able to explain it to me, but I know just enough of it to where I'm fully understanding the fact that he misunderstood that completely.
Yeah. Well, his answer will be God did it.
Yeah.
Which is just not good enough.
How far back does that claim go?
So the bottom line
Does it go all the way back?
One of the things that I like to ask evolutionists regarding the expansion is they call this thing a singularity. If it's a singularity, where did the singularity come from? Because I believe in cause and effect. I believe in the laws of nature, right? So where did that singularity come from? I bet you don't know this either. On how they go about answering.
What?
Where did the singularity come from? There are more experienced debaters in this live chat, I think, that can do a better job than you. I think she'll get some help. And I you should prepare yourself for this.
Really? Because they're all agreeing with me.
Huh?
So the question is,
right there was when my son walked in.
Next time, just tell him it was spit through the universe's vagina.
Where did it come from? Where did it come
from another universe.
Email me. I gotta go take care of my kids. So
see you later.
Email me. I'll talk to you on Sunday.
Okay, cool. All right, see you later. Go do that.
Guess that didn't age well.
Yeah. So
I don't know. You could talk about the difference between the cosmos and our local presentation of the universe, and perhaps just a hypothesis here, but maybe the singularity came from a neighboring universe in the cosmos. But we don't know. It's a hypothesis.
Oh, I need to get rid
But
of that.
at least he can't say no, it didn't.
Yeah. Okay, so
It's a hypothesis.
let's go with the argument of evil. Or no, here we go. Descent from Darwin. Okay. This is their website.
Yep.
Okay. I actually have the list of people. There is let's see here. I think the current one is Scientific Descent from Darwin. They are looking at started in 2001. Just hit over 1,000 in 2019, and not 100% sure what the current number is.
Yeah. I bet it gives you a link. They probably have a website. I bet it's at the bottom.
That's a lot of websites.
Yeah. Well, see also is usually where the website would be.
Creation, evolution, controversy.
That's other
No.
wikis. And yeah, it's probably in there somewhere if you wanted to sift through it.
Yeah. Now, this is what I was wanting to check, though, right here. The counter petitions.
Yeah.
Okay. The Project Steve.
Yeah.
It was actually launched in 2017, or sorry, no, it was launched in. Oh, well, I actually have that. Oh, let's see here. Project Steve. There we go. It began 2 years afterwards, and in 2017, it actually jumped up to I think it's like 1,400 signatures.
Nice.
So, I mean, by that time, yeah, it's already well over, and that's they've already concluded. Apparently, the number of PhD scientists that have the name Steve is approximately 1% of the population.
Yeah.
Okay, and then come back here, we've got the thing that really irritated the hell out of me was the fact that they apparently tried to use part of this list as evidence for the Kitzmiller versus Dover design or trial
to get evolution or creation in the schools.
Yeah, and they flat out said on their webpage that that's not what they were trying to do. So that right there shows the dishonesty right there.
Yeah.
But because of that, in the court case in October 2005, there was a counter petition immediately brought out, and it's called the Scientific Support for Darwinism.
Yep.
It was organized and gathered 7,733 signatures from scientists in 4 days.
In 4 days, yeah.
4 freaking days.
Yeah.
Okay. Not only that, but there's also the Clergy Letter Project, which has over 13,000 signatures of Christian clergy that believe that believe the Bible and this modern discovery of science can comfortably coexist.
Yeah, it's somewhere around 70% of believers.
Mm-hmm.
There's God driven, but.
There's also 500 Jewish clergy that have signed a similar rabbi letter, and then there's also an imam letter saying the same thing about the Quran.
Yeah.
So
well,
I mean,
Muslims are far more scientifically minded than most Christians. So.
Yeah.
Historically, anyway.
But I just found that funny that he tries to go with the scientific descent for Darwinism, and I mean I'm sitting here looking at some of these and. I see a few biologists, biology, bacteriology, a couple that are in relevant fields. But then you've got like marine geology, physics, and astronomy.
Well, can you go back up one page and show what they're actually signing?
Oh,
skeptical for the claims for the ability of random mutation.
That is literally these 32 words right here. And it says, we are skeptical of claims for the ability of random mutation and natural selection to account for the complexity of life. Careful examination of the evidence of Darwinian theory should be encouraged.
Well, the second statement goes without saying. Everything should always be carefully examined. But the first line, I can see where some biologists might say, okay, we're skeptical that that's the only thing that accounts for the complexity of life.
Yeah.
So the way that's worded is very tricky.
It's dishonestly worded. I mean, as worded right there, I would sign this if I knew it didn't come from a creationist source.
Yeah. Wow.
And as a matter of fact, there were a lot of controversies along these lines where apparently as soon as they started coming out, they actually somebody got a hold of the list and started calling the people on the list. And then suddenly they blacklisted it and turned around and called everyone that had already signed and told them to stop answering their phones.
Nice. Yeah, I think you could call every biologist on that list and ask them, do you believe evolution is a proven fact? And every one of them would say, well, of course I do. We can see evolution. That's not hard to prove. But the whole thing about Darwinism, that's a code word. That's not a real thing. As if Darwin is the be all end all of evolutionary theory, and he's certainly not.
No, it's not. I mean, hell, he didn't know what cells were. He assumed they exist, and he was proven right. But I mean, he didn't actually know it when he posited his theory.
Yeah, the whole thing just reeks of dishonesty.
Yeah. But so that one right there would be the descent from Darwinism stuff.
Yep.
So if G-Man sees this, then he's probably gonna be a little irritated at me that one of his favorite arguments is gone.
Yep. Oh, yeah, Stalin. We can get into that a little bit.
Yep. This one will be relevant very, very slightly. Okay. So anyways, this is the Christmas is a Lie. As soon as I refresh it, apparently. Okay. Let's see here. That's not what I wanted. Back up. I've got too many tabs open.
It's true. It's true.
Okay, here we go. Okay. So, is not the one that... Okay.
But I think conversion, as Pope Francis himself,
So-
Pope Francis himself called conversion pious nonsense, proselytizing. Yes, pious nonsense.
Let me drop that down. There we go.
Now, of course, the Vatican saying, roll that back. Backpedal.
This is one I'm not 100% sure what's going on because
all salvation comes from Christ, the head, through the church, which is his body. Hence, they cannot be saved who, knowing the church is founded by Christ and necessary for salvation, would refuse to enter her or remain in her. Am I the only one who thinks that sounds dirty? Okay. You have to enter the body. You have to remain in her for quite some time. And then you have to come back out and then go back into her and then make sure that you're perfectly loyal. All right, anyway, the Vatican. They can't get that stuff out of their head. What the Pope said? Well, you see, what had happened was he didn't quite mean that. He meant you atheist. Trust me, you're so going to hell. But it is weird that the Vatican is correcting the Pope. Well, I was led to believe that that gentleman was infallible. Now, Huffington Post explains in the story the Vatican statement.
now, correct me if I'm wrong. The Pope was considered the essentially the current body of Jesus on Earth, right?
Correct. He's the avatar for God himself.
Yeah. Okay.
On Earth.
So, yeah, I mean, the Vatican technically, anything the Pope says, the Vatican shouldn't be able to
correct.
Yep. Seemed to do damage control for Francis' remarks, emphasizing that his job is more to speak well than to provide an indisputable interpretation of the Bible. Did they just turn him into a spokesperson? Did they just turn him into a communications director? They demoted him pretty significantly. My understanding was this man speaks to God. All the Catholics are going to give all this details. Like, no, you don't understand. Like, in order for him to be infallible, it has to be a Wednesday between 4:30 and 5:30 in the afternoon. And if you haven't, that's when he's talking to God, and that's when it counts. He's not generally, oh, get out of here, man. He's a freaking Pope. He's supposed to be the guy who's talking to God. And now Vatican comes and says, he speaks well, blah, 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 blah. That's why we hired him. But he doesn't have an interpretation. Well, if he doesn't have an interpretation of the Bible, then why the hell do we listen to him? Why are we running so many parts of our world based on what the Pope said? Pope said don't use a condom. Pope said don't have an abortion. Pope said atheists are going to heaven. Never mind. The Pope doesn't count. Who gives a damn about the Pope? Makes no sense. Now let me read from the statement directly. Pope Francis is first and foremost a seasoned pastor and preacher who has much experience in reaching people. He's a people person apparently. His words are not spoken in the context
Oh, yeah,
of
this guy likes to-
academy, nor in interreligious dialogue or debate.
Wow.
Exceptions.
Yep, Pope's not allowed to debate.
Infallible if he was in theological faculty. But once he steps out of the faculty and is no longer involved in an interreligious dialogue or debate, he loses his magic powers. Go. Who believes this?
Yeah, it's definition 2.
Yeah.
Words mean things,
Mhm.
different things.
You know, like the dishonest use of faith.
Yeah.
Especially with intent to deceive. Yeah, I agree there.
Well, equivocation, that's what that is, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And, this is his little Epicurus argument.
Great.
Yeah. He thinks that this video right here disproves the Epicurean argument. And I'm not sure what that background noise is. But anyways, yeah, I mean the Epicurean argument, if he's willing to prevent evil but doesn't, then he's not all good. If he can't, then he's not omnipotent, and you know,
if he could but doesn't, then he's evil.
Yeah. But I'll go ahead and leave the volume off. That way it's a little bit more transformative, because all it is this guy using a computer to talk.
Right, yeah, I've seen this before. And it's stupid riddle.
It is. Carnivorous Ape, gentleman pioneer, thinks he knows history. Why don't you debate him? Jason, I don't generally debate history. This is regarding religion. I'm not 100% sure if you're caught up or what. Okay. Let's see here. And if you Epicurus cannot answer, what kind of fool should quote you and claim their reason has found the light? So here's the question that answers you. Okay, apparently here's the question that answers you. Since you see yourself so wise, what can you see but darkness if you never open up your eyes? No one can see what they will not see, nor learn what they refuse to know. But claiming your ignorance is also your proof. Well, that's just stupid to the bone. Is that supposed to be the dunk on Epicurus?
Yes. The fact that he won't respond because he's dead is proof that he was wrong. Or saying that he considered himself wise. Where'd you get that? Quit telling people what they think.
Oh, yeah. And this little thing right here gets
so you
even
claim
worse.
God does not exist.
Yeah.
Really? Epicurus claimed God didn't exist? I don't think he did.
No, I'm pretty sure he just pointed out the logical paradox.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, so here's the riddle that you two face, and you conveniently choose to forget. The same paradox in which you nullify God proves you're just twisted inside your head. Okay, so basically you're evil, therefore you can't nullify God.
Okay. Here now is the proof of it, set forth in lovely prose, spoken by a choppy computer voice to rotting Epicurus down below.
Yeah.
Wow.
If you're able but not willing to stop yourself from your own evil, it can't be said that you are good, and such is true of all people. The standard Christian line of nobody's good but God.
Yeah, you think you're a good person?
Yeah.
It doesn't affect the argument.
Because if you're able but not willing, then it also can't be said you're wise. So your wisdom is just foolishness, and your logic is filled with lies. If you're willing but not able to stop speaking those deceptions, then what is speaking through you is pure evil from its conception. And if it's moral evil from conception, you will do how could you stand in judgment of God when it is evil that is coming through you? If you're able to stop your evil but unwilling to make that choice, then why should anyone listen to you when evil is what you voice? I mean, now it's just kind of goofy poetry.
Yeah,
and
none of this addresses the argument at all.
No, it doesn't. This is essentially the poetry form of YouTube. I mean, I'm seeing the tu quoque in this as it basically saying, well, you're evil too, so you can't judge my God. And let's see here.
This is just Romans 1:20 in large form. You're a sinner. You can't judge God.
I mean, it's total incompetence, an excuse for all the evil men of today. So either you were just plain evil Epicurus, or you're an incompetent and boorish fool. And what was speaking through you make you a snaky and evil tool. If God does in fact exist, whether for good or evil or just in the middle, only a very foolish and evil man would make up such a stupid riddle. Well, I mean, that's giving God three different qualities right there. So,
yeah. My counterproof is churches being hit by lightning. I love that.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Churches being destroyed by earthquakes. That's even better.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go through this whole thing because here in a minute I'm gonna go ahead and poison the well a little bit.
What was it? Lisbon, 1650? The earthquake and tsunami that destroyed the holiest city on earth.
Yeah.
Kind of makes you wonder where God was.
Oh. Oh, there you go. Starts calling him names now. There's an idiot.
Yep.
Oh, and then he calls him a sheepshagger.
Mm.
Yep. Epicureans would quote your riddle, then with sheep they would fornicate. So apparently, that's apparently a sound argument.
Well, I mean, with Genesis 2, you got Adam fornicating with the animals, so couldn't find a suitable mate though.
Okay, I'll give you that one.
If you want to talk about fornicating with sheep, the Bible said it first.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to go ahead and jump into this one now because this right here is kind of my proof that G-Man didn't bother actually reading or watching all of these like he was supposed to.
Theoretically, that's why sheep say bad. Now they're really saying, Adam, stop.
Okay. Let's see if I can get a... That should be enough.
They're not who you think they are.
Christmas is a lie.
They're Jesuits. We're all Jesuits.
Okay, here we go. That's this right here is what I wanted to bring up. Okay, it says, note to viewer, this video series entitled The Truth About Atheism is the second part and a continuation of the video series Evolution, parts 1 through 3. It is recommended that you see the series on evolution prior to viewing this section, as these videos will build on what has already been covered under the title Evolution.
Okay.
Now, if G-Man saw this, you would expect him to jump on those videos, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you go watch those first, sure.
Okay. So going back over here to Christmas is a Lie, he's got everything nice and neat, a little playlist. So Truth About Evolution.
Cool.
Now, this is the creation Darwinism hoax and Solar Day creation's original origin in pagan sun god worship.
Oh boy.
And then the invisible dialectic in the Bohemian Grove. And anybody that can see up here, those red bars, I did watch each and every one of them. So,
the invisible dialectic would mean it's saying something you don't actually see written.
Yeah.
Okay, for you word nerds out there. Dialectical is something we talk about in language a lot.
Okay. There's not really a whole lot of talking, so I'm just going to go ahead and speed this up. Okay, most people think Christmas is about one day a year. I think this is just an opening for it.
It's actually a 3-day period in antiquity, but that's another story. Movement of the sun.
Yeah.
Sun stops at the horizon for 3 days.
Which stretches back into the history of Western civilization all the way back to the founding of the Holy Roman Reich in 432 AD.
It's also where you find a lot of 3-day periods in religions. Has to do with the sun.
So the evolution versus creation controversy. Everything. So both evolutionists and creationists are pawns in a game of disinformation designed to manipulate society and the theology that brought you to worship. Damn it.
Oh.
So. Designed to manipulate society and the theology that brought you the worship of Apollyon as a Christmas. Or Christmas. It's the same occultism behind today's disinformation game called evolution versus a creationism.
Really?
Two hands, which in reality serve the same master. So, that picture right there. Pretty sure G-Man, if he actually bothered watching any of these, saw that and stopped looking. Because this right here is also my proof that G-Man likes to cherry pick his data. Because the problem is if he believes all of this stuff about evolution and atheists and everything like that, then he's going to have to take this guy as a valid source on creationism as well.
Mm-hmm.
Be staggeringly ignorant, which most of them are.
Yeah, this is kind of interesting.
I mean, it's really a really appalling stranglehold.
Is invoking the insanity charge from the
Theodosius.
Theodosius, okay. Codex.
That these archaic beliefs have on minds that have been warped since childhood. It's not a privilege to understand where we come from. Privilege that's granted to those of us who live after 1859. That to deny children that privilege is wicked. It's a deprivation which should not be visited on any child, when the truth is so staggeringly exciting. It really is an enormously exciting thought that we are cousins of all living creatures. We have a history of 4 billion years of slow, gradual evolution. Just think about 4 billion years of slow, gradual history. That's not something we can easily take on board. But the effort of doing so is well worth it. It's such a beautiful thought that we are the heirs of 4 billion years, or even maybe 3.5 billion years of evolution, and that we are cousins of all living things. When we put that against the measly, piddling little ideas that are in Genesis, it's just no comparison. And it's a sad and diminishing deprivation of a child's opportunities to be denied that.
Now, see, that's one thing. I'm pause it right there for a second. That is one thing. I'm not really a huge fan of Dawkins.
Hardly anyone is. He's
No.
quite arrogant. in
Yeah,
his,
he is. And see, that's one thing that I've noticed. One of the few things, or one of the many things I've noticed actually, is the atheist side. When you get something wrong, your own side will call you out.
Absolutely.
Okay, and I've noticed that with with G-Man and Vaughn and everything like that. I was sitting there ridiculing Vaughn, and suddenly I disagreed with G-Man that one time, and suddenly it's like, nope, back to hammering on those atheists again.
He likes to play that Dawkins quote from the original Reason Rally, where Dawkins said, "Mock them openly," and there was a huge pushback from that.
Yeah, he got all kinds of backlash for that.
American Atheists came right back, and who had invited him to the first Reason Rally, and said, "No, we don't mock. We're better than that.
Yeah,
they mock us. Let's just agree to disagree." He got a huge blowback from that.
Okay, on the side of the creation myth. I'm pretty sure he's going to get. I'm pretty sure he would have gotten offended by this and just completely disregarded it.
If I were to give a prize for the single best idea anybody ever had, I'd give it to Darwin. Ahead of Newton, ahead of Einstein, he understood that what he was proposing was a truly revolutionary idea.
Okay. Now, a little bit of history right here for Darwin. Darwin posited the theory of evolution to the scientific community, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, this was specifically the theory of evolution by natural selection.
Correct.
Okay. We've known things change for centuries before that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the fact. Evolution of what are they?
Essentially the law.
Yeah,
that's
the
thing
fact,
that they like to say.
and the theory is the thing that describes the fact.
Yes. So
things change.
The fact is things change. We've known that for centuries, if not millennia.
Yeah.
Okay. We didn't have a scientific theory to show how that mechanism worked.
Right.
Until Darwin. Okay. Apparently, this guy right here thinks that it was in the Bible, and
The Darwinian revolution is who we are. It's what we're made of. It's what our life means, insofar as science can answer that question. So it, in many ways, was the singularly deepest and most discombobulating of all discoveries that science has ever made.
Supposedly, here's what actually happened.
Oh, okay.
Evolution is one of the most important ideas of the history of science. And unfortunately, most of what most people have heard about Charles Darwin discovering evolution is completely wrong. And unfortunately, most of what most people have heard about Charles Darwin discovering evolution is completely wrong.
Okay, Dr. John Van Wy received his Master's of... Is that just Master's of Arts?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Master of Arts.
Okay, from the University College of London, and his PhD from the University of Cambridge. I guess that makes him qualified to talk about evolution?
I guess. Understand where we come from. A privilege that's granted to those of us who live after 1859.
Until Darwin published his Origin of Species in 1850, everyone thought the world was 6,000 years old and that a supernatural being had created every species on the earth. That's false. That is not true. That was not the state of scientific knowledge when Darwin came along.
He's a historian of science.
Okay.
That's why he has an MA.
Okay. Focus on Charles Darwin and Alfred Russell Wallace at the National University of Singapore. Okay.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's what I just saw.
19th community before Darwin, all religious men, not atheists, had already figured out in the preceding decades that the Earth is only again countless millions of years.
Well, yeah, I mean, the fact that geologists found the Earth to be incredibly ancient before Darwin bothered positing the fact that evolution says we are, life on Earth was incredibly ancient. I mean, that's just two different sources for an old Earth. That's they didn't even agree with each other until recently.
None of them accepted over 6,000 dollars.
Okay, Scientific Associate, Natural History Museum in London, fellow. Okay, yeah, there's more qualifications.
These 2 points are universally accepted before Darwin. All was unbelievably ancient, and the history of life on Earth has been a progressive story.
Okay.
People think Darwin sailed to the Galapagos Islands. And when they were happened, we had to sort of eureka moment and saw the beats of these finches and got the idea of forward evolution. That's completely wrong.
Okay, more qualifications.
Darwin not get the idea of evolution from seeing these finches, but when he was in the Galapagos Islands, he didn't even know they were all finches. Yeah, there were loads of different kinds of birds. They varied a lot. Not when they got home, their ex-ornithologist told them that they were finches.
Okay.
So it was only when they got back to London and put all the pieces together they began to create this theory of evolution by branching descent. To find the clue in that Darwin study, domestication. How is it that human breeders and farmers are able to create particular breeds with particular properties?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's how we domesticated cattle and dogs and everything like that.
Singularly deepest and most discombobulating of all discoveries was ever made.
That's very often that Darwin's book was published, there was a great public outcry, outrage, there was a huge conflict in science. Not really, but actually, very actually was quite different from what most of us know. Think of it. Within 20 years of the publication of The Order of Species, the scientific debate about evolution was over. It was done. The international scientific community had accepted that evolution is true by the 1870s and moved on.
He understood that what he was proposing was a truly revolutionary idea.
So you've heard
Oh, 2 dislikes already? Really?
evolution is somehow controversial. It has been since the 1870s. There are more recent controversies, but those were erupted in the 20th
Oh,
century. This is a new, not a
I forgot to like. There we go. That's better.
I appreciate it.
not a, and still ongoing.
So what is he saying? Darwin didn't discover a ring species and draw some conclusions from that? Is that what he's saying?
No, I don't actually hear him saying anything about Darwin being wrong. I everything that he said so far is basically just saying that we knew a lot of this stuff before Darwin, which is what we were literally just talking about.
So what?
So I mean,
Darwin was doing research and observation in the field, and he discovered a ring species. So what?
It's basically the triple mode.
So what?
Okay. Geologist 1837 already believed in ancient Earth. Yeah, we already discussed that part too.
Well, there were lots of competing theories.
Yeah.
That's not surprising.
We know that didn't happen. In fact, it comes around 1935, which was the centenary of Darwin's visit to the Galapagos. The Galapagos was a famous thing, and it was associated with Darwin because he had made most people familiar with it because of his beautiful account of his visit. But what was not made was a connection between Darwin's visit to the Galapagos and discovering the food. Nobody had done that. But somebody made a little fudge here at the announcement of the meeting of the British Association of Advanced Science in 1935, where they simply linked together, perhaps to set up the title.
Centenary, the shape of an idea, stages in evolution. Okay, so. Okay, that's just an excerpt from his book.
Centenary of the landing of Charles Darwin in the Galapagos and of the birth of the hypothesis of the origin of species, and thereby sort of accidentally linking these two ideas together. It could be misread, or actually quite plainly read, as this was the birth of the origin of species on the spot in the Galapagos. And this is from the Times. And from this newspaper alone, it was reproduced in hundreds of other newspapers and magazines around the world. And from there on it went. In the same year, by wonderful coincidence, at the same meeting,
Okay, so
was coined by an English.
at the very same meeting, the myth of Darwin finches was created. Okay, whatever.
I guess they are saying he didn't discover a ring species.
Puzzling that no one at his time thought that natural selection.
Okay.
Why should they do that? It's a great puzzle, and Darwin was the first to capture and describe these so-named natural but more famously, in 1907, in a very important book by David Lack, called Darwin's Finches, really did crack the puzzle and showed that natural selection was the explanation for why the finches were the way they were, and that the finches speak for a beautiful example of adaptive radiation. So nowadays, most people, when they tell the story of the finches, they're actually talking about what life like that, but attributing it to Darwin.
Creation.
20th century, the myth that this great event.
I don't think he's actually a creationist, Blue. I'm thinking that he's just got some kind of weird alternate history for the theory of evolution.
Yeah.
In the book from 1962, heroic Darwin, standing in the Galapagos, staring into the future, about to make a great discovery. Unfortunately, suffering from terrible hair loss for his 26-year-old. Things impossible to recognize hair loss. This is a scene from the BBC series Voyage of Charles Darwin from 1978. Here's Darwin, the poop cabin of the Beagle, just leaving the Galapagos with the servant in the foreground. And in front of him, he has the Galapagos finches all lined up. And he's holding two in his hand, and he just says, look at this problem. See how their beaks all line up. Thus telling an audience millions. That's how he did it. He just had to go to the Galapagos, line them up, and he got the idea. And of course,
no, that's not what he did.
Absolutely synonymous with evolution. They on stamps and books and mugs, and it's endless. the next big leg will nip, which is Darwin's delay. Darwin comes up with
This guy could have really used a different background color for this.
There's a gap between those two dates. Now, in recent decades,
I don't even know what that top word is.
Darwin, this gap existed because Darwin was afraid to tell what he believed. They held it back, that he concealed it, that he kept it a secret. In fact, this has now become, like the Finches, another one of the iconic things to say about Charles Darwin, that this is what his life was about. It was about concealment, fear, and secrecy. This is the homepage of the American Museum of Natural History's wonderful Darwin exhibition. But what do they
Oh, I
say
think that
is
might
that
actually be
they-
my monitor because I can read it here on the bottom.
Similarly, the Natural History Museum in London is even dates.
Mine does the same thing. My big one cuts off the edges.
Yeah.
Drives me crazy.
Okay, this is the first page of the Ordinance Species, published in 1859. What did Darwin tell his readers? He says on the first page, after I came home from the voyage of the Beagle, in 1837, I began working on this subject. And then I put together a sketch in 1842, in 1844, a longer sketch.
Oh yeah, you're going to see a whole lot of cherry picking.
The same object. That's what Darwin told his readers on the first page of the Ordinance Species. I was working on it. I'm still working on it. That was
But it's
Darwin's
so it's such minute arguments. I mean, who cares?
Nowhere.
Click out of this because this is.
So they knew that this
Sounds like this guy's just all upset that Darwin's getting the credit for something he didn't do.
I know.
I don't
That's,
give a shit.
at this point in time, that's exactly what it is. Okay, autobiography, another source of conviction in the existence of God. Darwin was a theist.
Yep.
That's one thing that G-Man doesn't like, does he? Because I know he thinks Darwin was an atheist.
He was not.
Yeah.
He was not an atheist. He had given up his belief in Christianity, but he had not given up his belief that some intelligent thing might have started up nature in the first place.
Yep.
But in.
I'm out of coffee.
I'm out of milk. I drink milk at night.
Oh yeah, and then this is supposedly what it's it's supposed to be hiding the origin of evolution. Evolution did not occur with Charles Darwin nor in the 19th century through science. It was a revelation from God, not a yeah.
Goodness, you serious?
Yeah. Supposedly 3,000 years before Darwin. So apparently the etymology of evolution is from the Latin word evolutio, which is the unrolling of a book. Yeah, because words don't change over time.
Yeah. I did a video about that, but, textual analysis. It's the least viewed video on my channel. People don't care.
Let's see here. Blue. Forgive me. I would contend Darwin was privately an atheist. Possibly atheist, deist, maybe, but he
Said himself, he's a
yeah,
theist.
he got incredibly irritated when people started calling him an atheist, and he flat out said, "I am a theist."
Yeah.
So. Oh, right down here you see it. Did your Masonic handlers bother to tell you? Yeah. See, this is like anti-Freemasonry Illuminati crap.
Let's see, I'll just bring up eSword here.
Yep.
See if evolution appears in the Bible.
Oh yeah. Torah scrolls, supposedly term used throughout the Bible. You got it there?
Nope. eSword doesn't pick up the word evolution in Greek or Hebrew.
Oh darn.
That's shit.
What is it? 2 Corinthians 24:23?
In Latin, maybe, but that's the Vulgate. That's not the that's not the original language. Just because somebody translated into Latin with that word doesn't mean it appears in the Bible. Now, does it?
That's true. And I don't know why he decided to use this one, because that's not the same word, is it?
Yeah, it's just different forms of the same verb, I would think. What, the Book of Esther?
That looks like the book of Jeremiah there.
Give me a passage. I'll read the modern. Jeremiah 51:25.
Yep.
Give me a second. Jeremiah 51:25 says, "Behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountain, saith the Lord, which destroyeth all the earth, and I will stretch out mine hand upon thee, and roll thee down from the rocks." There it is. "And make thee a burnt mountain." So the "roll thee down from the rocks" in Latin, there you see it. Evolve them. Oh, yeah. So I didn't have to read it from eSword. It's right there. So they're saying this thing that we call evolution, that is how species change, is the same thing as stretch out mine hand, roll thee down from the rocks. That's the same thing.
Yeah, that's
a horrible argument. That's horrible.
I agree. Supposedly the EVOLU, the Latin Vulgate, in Latin is,
I don't use the Vulgate. It's not. I mean, it's not the original language. So why would you use something like it? Why don't you, show, oh my gosh, it appeared in Portuguese. That's not what the Bible was written in, man.
Yeah. Oh, came to pass. Hebrew
What?
word for evolution.
Really?
Supposedly used 3,000 times in the Old Testament.
Really?
Back that up for a second there. Hebrew words for the concept of evolution. Let's see here. Exodus 2:23.
Okay.
Haya.
2:23. Yeah. They crack by the reason of bondage. I don't know if I can go to my Strongs here directly from that, but let me look at this. As it came to pass in the process of time. That's what he's got highlighted.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to search for bondage in the dictionary. I should be able to go to that verse. Exodus 2:23. Oh, that's not going to work. I got to search my tools. Sorry, eSword is terribly hard to use sometimes.
Oh, no worries.
Yeah, I can't find it there either. Here we go. Compare. Is he saying Haya? Hayah? The word for evolution?
Yeah, apparently.
Haya. Okay. That's H1961 in Strong's. Total occurrence is 3,502 in the KJV. A primitive root to exist, that is, be or become, come to pass. So that's the same thing as change in allele frequency over time?
Yeah, see, I don't even because, I mean, he's got the definition down here.
That's not the Hebrew word for the concept of evolution.
No.
That's the concept of coming to pass, to be fulfilled, to happen, to exist, essentially. That's not evolution, not in the sense we're using it scientifically. So this is just a lie.
Yeah, this is all ad hoc rationalization or post hoc rationalization.
That's definitely Haya.
Yeah.
It just means to come to pass. And that's going to come, those words happen a lot. It comes to pass.
Oh, and this is the one that he's going to hate because.
Yep, Yom.
Yep.
It's a literal day, man. It's a literal day. No, it's not really. And remember, they're talking about modern Hebrew, not First Temple, which a lot of this was written in. Genesis 1 was written in First Temple. We don't know what half the words are, even are, because there were no vowel dits.
Yeah.
You have to interpolate it.
But actually, this guy brings up a pretty good argument here in just a second. At least he does against creationism. Yeah. Hey, Mutant, how you doing? Okay. I'm not 100% sure if the order of these are right. I mean, from a scientific standpoint.
Yeah.
But
I wonder if they'll address the two different sequences of creation, because Genesis 2 has a different one.
Yeah.
Different order. Although some will say, apologists will say Genesis 2 is just a poem. It's not the literal order. It's just he did this and he did this and he did this, not necessarily in that order. Which, okay.
There's more Genesis 1.
Because Genesis 1 says on the first day, and on the second day. Genesis 2 doesn't say that. That's the historical side of evolution.
Yep.
Oh, man. I don't think so. I don't think it worked like that.
Supposedly it's been documented on 3 continents now.
What, that life originated in the sea? Yeah, we knew that.
Yeah. So Judaism, Christianity, Islam. I mean, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure Hindus had it a little bit more accurate, where they didn't need apologists, at least for the age of the Earth.
Are they the ones that believed the great bird god laid an egg? It was a universe, and that the Hindus? One of the branches.
I think that's one of the branches. But yeah, at the very least, though, most of them were, the Earth is millions upon millions of years old, and
the very next verse following,
the author clarifies his use of the Hebrew word yom.
Really?
Well, let's see here. These are the generations of the heaven of the earth when they are created in the day that the Lord made the earth and the heavens.
Notice the Strong's Concordance, which is the yellow box there, already being an apologetic for it, whether literally a day or figuratively as a space of time. They're all. I mean, no, Hebrew doesn't work like that, Jack. Hebrew ain't poetic like that. At least not First Temple. They had 3 numbers, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
None, one, and many. No, it's 1, 2, and many. I'm sorry. There wasn't a 0 in Hebrew. 1, 2, many. That was it.
Torah records Cain fleeing from the land of Nod, taking a wife, founding a fully inhabited city. Now, see, I actually enjoy that particular mythology because that's actually the grounding for the Vampire the Masquerade role-playing game.
Yeah.
Where Cain was actually the first vampire.
The land of Nod.
Yeah, because I guess the mark from God or whatever.
Yep.
But that actually made it fun. King David's interpretation in 1000 BC. How do you? Hold on a second. Did King David lived in 1000 BC?
Maybe. We're a little sketchy on that. I would have thought closer to 700 or 600 BC, which is about the time the Pentateuch would have been collated.
King David reigned in Israel. More you know. Yes, that is actually true.
1000 BC?
Yep.
Really?
1010 to 970.
Okay. I wonder if they're putting this together by generations, though.
Quite possibly. And okay, now see that right there. I want to see that because I don't think I've ever seen anything in the Bible that says to
study apes.
Yeah. See if I can find the passage because something 923. I'm not 100%.
Apes doesn't come up in a search.
CH Chronicles.
Chronicles, yeah.
923.
Oh, gotta get out of that. Could be Second Chronicles, I guess.
Oh, yep. Second Chronicles.
Yeah, there we go.
Go with 9:21 to start with.
For the king's ships went to Tarshish with the servants of Hiram. Every three years once came the ships of Tarshish bringing gold and silver, ivory, and apes and peacocks.
I didn't hear anything about studying.
No, didn't say anything about studying. Although he said later. Yep. Nothing about studying them.
Presence to here's wisdom. Okay, well then, that right there is kind of.
They said that talked about studying ape. What?
Yeah, the wisdom of Solomon after studying apes. That's just this weird flavor text that he's adding.
Okay. Apes in the strong is Koph, which is a monkey.
Okay.
Or ape. Yeah.
Ecclesiastes 3:18.
They themselves are beasts. That's probably going to be Oram. Ecclesiastes 3:18. Get back in my KJV here. Yeah, it says the beasts. Behemoth, properly a dumb beast. Any large quadruped or animal. Cattle, oxen, that sort of thing.
And it says, I said in mine heart concerning the estates, I'm assuming, of the sons of men.
I suppose they're calling them cattle there, beasts of burden.
Oh well, that kind of
cattle. Yeah,
that kind of sounds like they're talking about slaves then.
Yeah, basically dumb animals.
Uh-huh.
Cows, mules, that sort of thing.
And supposedly, here, yeah, they all have one breast, so that a man hath no preeminence above a beast.
Wow.
That's kind of a stretch for them trying to say that we're studying animals and everything like that in the Bible.
That sure goes against special creation, doesn't it?
Oh, it definitely does.
It's in the Bible,
Mm-hmm.
ladies and gentlemen. We're all animals.
Yep, right there. Whoop.
What would G-Man say?
Ah, crap.
Be visited on any child.
Hey, G-Man, what about Ecclesiastes 3?
An enormously.
It says men are animals.
Sorry, we'll have to watch a few more seconds of it. I didn't. Yeah.
I wasn't aware of that, but I'm not particularly an Old Testament scholar. I'm more studied on the Gospels.
Well, I mean,
I hate Hebrew, by the way.
Oh, you do?
Studying Hebrew was just a nightmare. There's no rules. It's just it's best guess.
Okay. So, apparently, for anybody that's still coming in or skipped ahead, that this is G-Man's apparent source of information that he's using to prove that evolution is a lie, that he berated me on that I didn't watch it all. So.
Yeah, he's not going to talk about this section.
Nope. I guarantee that.
Basically, I mean, if you're looking at an Old Testament mindset here, they discovered that, hey, beasts breathe and die, men breathe and die, so we're all the same. Because that was their level of understanding about how things work. Which is why air gods were so popular. The breath of life.
Oh, yeah.
Breathed life into Adam. They thought breathing was the soul. The breath
this guy
was the
can't
thing they understand.
This guy can't even be consistent within his own video. Just a few minutes ago, he said 3 millennia.
Huh.
So, okay, let's see here. Wisdom of Solomon. This is the Apocrypha.
Oh boy.
For as the notes of a lute can make various tunes with different names through, though each retains its own pitch, so the elements combined among themselves in different ways, as can be accurately inferred from the observation of what happened. Land animals took to the water, and things that swim migrated to dry land. For creatures of the dry land were turned into creatures of the water, and the creatures that swim trode now upon the earth. Without hearing any more of that, that just sounds like a weird thing about the fish became land creatures and the land creatures became fish.
They saw amphibians.
Tadpoles and frogs.
They didn't realize that some things lived on both. So this was some kind of sign from God that the land animals dwelt into the sea.
Okay.
Yeah, they were amphibians. Remember, the people were writing this stuff. Didn't know much about anything.
Yeah.
Bible gets that wrong too.
So as we're watching the more of this,
think about alligators, lizard, snakes.
There you go.
Turtles.
But as we're watching more of this, I want to keep reiterating that G-Man thinks that this guy, the guy that's doing this, is a young Earth creationist, and he's clearly not. He just contends that there's a some conspiracy theory saying that the Bible doesn't get credit for evolution.
There's the real truth, and then there's creationism and evolution, which is made to muddle your mind.
Around 700 AD, the text of King David from Psalms stating that there were 974 generations of humanity before Adam was recorded in the Jewish Talmud, along with commentary by medieval Jewish scholars.
Oh, yeah, that's this is one that I was wanting to get your opinion on too. Apparently, the evolutionary interpretation of Genesis was recorded in the Talmud for over 1,000 years before Darwin. So apparently, according to this, it's showing that the Talmud says that there's something like 974 generations before Adam.
Wow. Okay.
Is that something that you've ever even heard?
I haven't studied the Mishnah and the Vinashas and the various very much, other than touching on them.
Okay. That's fair enough.
Yeah. You should get J-Dubs on here for that. I do know it's oral tradition for hundreds of years, so it's really corrupted.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and here comes the rhetoric.
But they had made these observations, not decades or even centuries, millennia, before Charles Darwin, the most famous among them, scientist, Ibn Khaldun, who wrote in 1337 AD. Quote, it started out from the minerals and progressed in an ingenious, gradual manner to plants and animals. The last stage of minerals is connected with the first stage of plants, such as herbs and seedless plants. The last stage of plants, such as palms and vines, is connected with the first stage of animals.
Oh, and here's supposedly the Islam interpretation.
Able to think and reflect. The higher stage of man is reached from the world of apes, in which both sagacity and perception are found.
I would love to see that anywhere in old world Muslims ideology.
Yeah,
because a lot of the Muslims that I've encountered are still creationists. They just and they draw that hard line, just like most Christians or most young Earth creationists do, about the difference between man and ape.
End quote. That was written 500 years before Charles Darwin in England, and it was through these lines that Western Europe, that knowledge and evolution were brought to Western Europe, and ultimately to Charles Darwin himself. It was historically the original intellectual origin.
Okay, so now Darwin got his evolutionary knowledge from Muslims.
Richard Dawkins loved to cite a proof of the conflict between science and religion during this time. In fact, it was titled History of the Conflict Between Religion and Science.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't Dawkins originally a biologist of some kind? Because I know he does like to argue evolution.
He's some sort of scientist, but I don't know if he's a biologist. Probably. I do know there's no evolution taught in the Quran or the Hadith.
And contrary to what they have incessantly told the public, evolution had everything to do with Genesis from its earliest times in Western Europe. In fact, almost exactly opposite to what the public has been led to believe through atheism actually did exist in the ancient world, and atheism rejected.
Yes, he is an evolutionary biologist.
There you go. No wonder G-Man hates him so much.
Oh yeah.
Nothing was created at all. Thus, evolution explaining the origin of life, proposed by ancient theists, was completely rejected. Evolution does not philosophically support classical atheism. In fact, it outright contradicts it. Evolution, proposed by theists from Genesis, supports a theistic worldview. Theists who believe they had received the knowledge of it originally, the revelation not of science, but from the Creator. Not as a repudiation of his existence, but as a confirmation of his wisdom in bringing the world into its present state. It is in fact atheism, not theism, which has an archaic belief system that has been completely disproven by modern science.
Yep. And this is why I know G-Man didn't watch this part. Because let's go ahead and skip this part. There we go.
Intro.
I can handle that intro once or twice, but I've already had to listen to it 8 times in the last couple of days. Okay. Still in the intro.
The guy doesn't know how to use effect and affect correctly.
I noticed that too.
Lost some credibility already. Affects. AF. Affects.
Skip past this crap. Good grief.
Effect is the thing you see. The affect is the impact on people.
Okay, there we go. He's getting into this where apparently all of the quote unquote atheists are Protestant or Jesuit Protestant counter Reformationists. Well, apparently these guys right here that we're going to be talking about are Protestant Reformationists. So
So if you've heard, as I'm sure everyone thinks we has, that even is controversial.
Yom equals age.
Again.
It's a new movement. It's a new movement. It's a new movement. It's a new movement.
As you saw in part 1, in the 20th century, the Darwin myth was being created to hide the real historic origins of evolution itself, having come from the work of Reformation Protestants in Western Europe. During this same time in history, another myth was being created which was its exact precise opposite counterpart. That myth was the myth of solar day creationism being the only true and real biblical interpretation of Genesis. The Darwin myth hid the historical origin of evolution found.
Okay, so Darwin theory came about in 1859. Let's see here. What was the first occurrence of solar day creationism?
It'd be consistent with young Earth creationism, I would think.
Yeah, young Earth creationism.
Because if he created it in 7 days, or 6 days, whichever, then everything else is generations. No
oh, hey, that's kind of interesting. Here, let's bring this up here real quick. Young Earth creationism. Since the mid 20th century, young Earth creationists, starting with Henry Morris in 1918, born in 1918, have developed impossible and promoted a pseudoscientific explanation called creation science.
Yep.
So, let's see here. Christian fundamentalism. Trying to see if I can't find the history of it. Age of the Earth, human history, flood geology. Yeah.
I highly recommend a Ron Ross series on geological evidence about the flood, if you're interested in that sort of thing.
Oh yeah, my kids have actually we've seen all of his stuff.
Yeah, it's a good series.
My kids were actually heartbroken when we got to the final phylogeny video that he did.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, G-Man doesn't understand phylogeny either.
Oh no, he doesn't.
Lately he hasn't been making that argument about a dog turning into a cat, so maybe he's grown a little bit.
Okay, and here we go with the Freemasonry shit again. One thing that I found interesting was part of the conspiracy theory that I found was apparently Karl Marx was a Freemason.
Okay.
Okay. Karl Marx was not a Freemason at all because he was an atheist. What was the guy's his partner? Something Engel.
Marx's partner?
Yeah. See if I've got that down here somewhere.
Don't care much about Marxism. Haven't read up on it.
There we go. Let's see here. I may have to.
I saw Hal Lindsey. Oh God.
Oh yeah.
Talking about young Earth creationists.
Yeah.
He's got some odd views on eschatology too, end day stuff.
That one kind of crept in there. I think that was I was answering Black Guy TV's question in there on that one.
Cheese? What? Cheese motel?
No,
Cheese
is cheese mold?
Is chease mold?
Yeah, he asked me if it was directly mold, and it was like, hold on a second. I just popped open another tab.
It's fermented milk.
Yes. That's a new one. I can close that.
Blue cheese has mold. That's true.
Okay. Karl Marx. That's close enough. He and his partner.
Friedrich Engels. There it was.
Yeah, there you go. Friedrich Engels. Apparently, Engels was originally a Freemason, but when he converted to atheism with Marx, he actually was pretty much tossed out of the order.
Oh.
And that's something that I personally can, there we go. That's actually something that I can personally attest to because I grew up in, here in Oklahoma. I'm pretty sure you've heard of DeMolay.
No, I was in DeMolay. Can only date Rainbow Girls though.
Yep, I was in DeMolay as well. I
was a piano player for Rainbow Girls, which was awesome.
I think I spent 7 years in DeMolay, and I ended up. I didn't get my Chevalier, but I did qualify for it. And from there, because DeMolay, you actually have. I don't know if it's everywhere, but in our particular chapter, if you were in DeMolay, especially if you were in there for as long as I was, you have an open invitation to join the Masonic Lodge.
Of course, yeah.
And I went in there. I got the invitation down, and then that was when I lost my faith and became an atheist. And I was asked very politely to leave.
Did you have your big ceremony in Guthrie at the big Masonic temple, the old state capitol?
No,
we were pretty close to Guthrie and Ponca. So.
I was actually scheduled for that, but then that was when I.
You know the place I'm talking about, though, right? The first capitol that's now a huge Masonic lodge.
Yeah, I remember that.
I mean,
I'm only about an hour away from Guthrie.
Yeah, creepy old building.
But,
this video will deal with the second myth, which is commonly referred to as creationism or the literal interpretation of the Bible.
Second myth, which is creationism. So that's always fun.
Thus being to opposite hands, which in reality are attached to the same source, and consequently were engineered to serve the same master.
Probably watch this for about another half hour. I don't know if I'm going to get through all of this.
Old 100th.
Oh, is that the song?
Yeah, it's the Old 100th. John Wesley wrote that. A Mighty Fortress, people know about it. It's also the theme song to Davy and Goliath, that old cartoon.
Okay.
The Darwin myth was created in the 20th century, was in order to hide the absolutely indispensable role the influence of the Protestant Reformation played in the development of the science of evolution in Western.
Can you understand that, or do I need to slow it down a little bit?
It's fine.
Okay.
Throughout modern day evolutionary vocabulary, one will find its historical roots to have been actually formed in the biblical culture of Western Protestant Europe.
Yes, yeah.
Which actually means the unrolling of a Torah scroll to the very earliest schematics of evolutionary descent drawn by evolutionists themselves, which were and still are today called, quote, the tree of life, end quote, a conspicuous term which comes straight out of the book of Genesis itself.
Oh, come on. Come on.
And the tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Is he thinking that that's where we got the term the tree of life from?
Apparently. This guy makes really loose connections. I mean, that's almost as bad as the evolution is in the Bible thing. Because it's in Latin.
Wildheart 666. Yeah, G-Man was proven wrong probably about 4 or 5 times so far. We're having fun with this with this Christmas is a lie conspiracy nut.
Evolutionary tree of life was how Protestant reformers in Western Europe and the Americas saw science explained, and even ultimately proving the Genesis account of creation of life on Earth. The scientific explanation is how life actually came to be, which created Platonianism's claim that humanity had always existed in its present day form. Prior to the Reformation, the papal hierarchy at the Vatican was the sole reference for all truth to be either told, heard, or believed. All of the Protestant reformers denounced which were created through the Vatican's attempt to control and manipulate all forms of knowledge. The emphasis of Protestant reformers placed on understanding the biblical text through the application of both science and reason over superstition drove Western Protestant Europe toward a scientific worldview. It was no accident that many of the early pioneers of the science of evolution in Western Europe were actually Protestant clergymen, and many were from the Free Church movement in both Europe and the United States. Today's discussion about Genesis and evolution repeatedly invokes the term literal interpretation, erroneously referred to solar day creationism, which is said to be the literal interpretation. However, the Protestant clergy involved.
Solar day creationism is not the literal interpretation of Genesis.
Okay.
Pretty sure that's the young Earth creationism pretty much byline, isn't it? I mean, it's they believe the Bible is literally true.
In pioneering the science of evolution as the correct explanation of Genesis.
I know G-Man does.
Equal interpretation as non-literal. They did not share the dichotomy that has been created in discussing evolution and Genesis that is constantly heard today. The question of Genesis was, which was the most ancient interpretation of the text, and which interpretation was most accurate with the language and grammar of the text itself, and using science as an objective means.
Okay, let's see here. Which interpretation of Genesis is the most ancient and the most accurate to the text and the science? This would be for Yom equals age or Yom equals solar day. And according to this, it was the Talmud and the Vatican and the Book of Jubilees that have the Yom equals solar day.
Yep. I'll throw my knowledge of ancient language out there and tell you that it's Yom, not Yom.
Sorry, Yom.
It is Yom. But that's just his guess.
Yeah.
To verify which interpretation was in fact the real.
Unless we're talking about ancient writings or something, people commenting on the Bible, they may be right.
Sorry, he's been saying Yom, so I was.
It's Yom.
Yeah.
Genesis and solar day creationism, and in this belief they were correct. The actual text of Genesis does not support the solar day creationism interpretation. Because in order to have a solar day, you must have the solar cycle established in the text from the first Yom. And the
Now, see, this is actually a decent bit of logic right here. So, the literal text of Genesis does not support solar day creationism because no solar cycle existed until the fourth day, or until the fourth Yom. So that right there kind of throws young Earth creationism for a loop right there, because the solar cycle wasn't even a thing until it was 70% done. Mr. Rugby Loosehead, G-Man is always a stupid, foolish twit. Yes, because this is actually his evidence against evolution, and it's showing him that creationism is just as stupid.
solar cycle is not set until the fourth Yom. That is nearly 70% already through the entire narrative. Meaning without a solar cycle present from the first Yom, it is impossible to read the text as Yom referring to a solar cycle. Leaving the possible way to read the text being Yom does in fact equal age, not a solar day. And if all this were not already clear,
Okay, and of course the whole unrolling of a scroll and all that other crap.
these are the generations of the heavens and of the earth when they were created, in the day that the Lord God made the earth and the heavens. End quote. Please note that the little Hebrew word which is used in this text, translated generations, is specifically plural only and refers to birth by descent, not to direct creation. In the same way that you are said to be a descendant of your grandparents.
These are the okay. So in Genesis 2:4, I don't see what word he's trying to Toleda or Tolda.
I can't see it.
That's Hebrew to me, so I can't really see that either. Or is he talking about Yom again?
No, he's in Strong's H8435, which I can bring up here. I think. In my tools. Ugh, I hate eSword sometimes. H8435. No, that's not it.
I got H3205.
I can never remember which one to go. That doesn't matter.
Well, we got two numbers here. We got 8435 and 3205.
Yeah. I can't find the damn thing that way.
That's fine.
I need a verse. Genesis 2:4. That I can do.
Genesis 2:4. Sorry.
That I can do. And then I can go to compare. What word is it? Day?
Generations. The generations.
Aha. Oh. Toledah.
Okay.
Which means birth or generations. It's referring to a genealogy, essentially. Toledah.
So these are the genealogy, essentially, of the heavens and the earth when they were created in the Yom that the Lord God. Okay, so this is basically just further proof of young Earth creationism can't be true.
Yeah, I'd say there it's birth, probably. The origin, the birth.
Okay. Okay, so you're the secondary definition over here.
Yeah, or history.
Okay.
This is the history of the heavens and the earth.
That actually sounds. Yeah, that even makes more literal sense.
Yeah.
The heavens and earth were created through a progression of descent. Yeah, right.
Why, despite the fact Protestant Europe in the 1800s was still very biblically oriented, there was not only a consensus of acceptance, its development was often even being pioneered by Protestant clergy themselves. But if the one equal interpretation of Genesis was the most ancient, and it is the one most accurate to the literal language and grammar of the Genesis text, how and why did it become replaced with...
I find it hilarious that G-Man's a bit still stuck in the Great Debate days, and he still can't debate.
Christians, that Genesis teaches solar day creationism, and the unequal age interpretation of Genesis is nothing but a recent invention to accommodate evolution, when in fact the exact reverse is actually the case in history. You might be both shocked and surprised by the answer. It's not what you have been told. Solar day creationism is not found in the texts of Genesis. It is found in ancient paganism, and its incorporation into Christian Europe was the orthodox interpretation of the text in Genesis came as a result of sun worship theology. The same theology that declared the worship of Apollyon on December 25th in ancient Rome to be a Christ Mass. The same sun worship theology found in Freemason occultism, which was, and still is, the real source of the fight between solar day creationism and evolution, not the text in Genesis as they have told you.
Okay, so apparently this guy, he keeps using the solar day creationism because he's comparing this to essentially pagan sun worship.
Okay. Seems like a leap.
Yeah, definitely. He's trying to get the the pyramid over the all-seeing eye and everything out of this picture right here, I'm assuming. I don't understand on that one. And then of course come down here, it says not if you're a Luciferian, Freemason, rabbi, preacher, or priest. So I love where the comma is right there. Can you be a Luciferian, Freemason, rabbi?
I don't see how.
Okay. The real source of solar day creationism is so apparently Freemasons are the source of solar day creationism.
So in part one of the previous video, the most ancient interpretation of Genesis, and the one which is repeated by biblical authors during the Davidic kingdom, including both King David and Solomon, is the Yom Equal Age interpretation. But solar day creationism did eventually become a dominant interpretation, especially in the West. So how did this happen, and where did solar day creationism actually originate from, since it was not the original meaning of the text by its original authors? To find the answer to that question, one must in ancient Israel.
It makes a lot of presumptions about the original authors and what they meant in First Temple Hebrew.
The deity goddess was worshipped here in Israel. Here in this case, she's shown holding a baby.
Who is this fertility goddess? And what is a pagan idol doing? Dramatic evidence as to her possible identity first surfaced in 1968.
Executed in a clear 8th century script is the Druid version.
Oh yeah, here we go. There's the pagan link.
Executed by Yahweh, that's the biblical Hebrew, but it says by Yahweh and his Asherah. And Asherah is the name of the old Canaanite mother goddess.
More inscriptions associating Yahweh and Asherah have been discovered. And thousands of figurines unearthed throughout Israel.
So basically, this is the Canaanite version of Mary.
Seems like it.
Or I guess if Mary was actually a goddess.
Many scholars believe this is the face of Asherah. The Bible admits the Israelites continue to worship Asherah and other Canaanite gods, such as Baal.
Ooh, Baal.
In fact, the prophets, holy men speaking in the name of God, consistently rail against breaking the covenant made with Moses to worship only Yahweh.
The Israelites had made a contract with God. If they kept it, God would reward them. If they broke it, he would punish them. He would punish them by using foreign powers as his instruments.
Solar day creationism was directly related to Baal or sun worship. So, G-Man, apparently you conceded the bet with Vaughn, and you're now a pagan because that's what your proof is saying.
Yeah, remember, this is the series that G-Man suggested you watch.
Yes, that's why I fell down that rabbit hole Thursday, and I've been watching this all weekend.
Which seems to say that young Earth creationists are Freemasons.
Are Freemason Baal sun worshippers pagans.
Yeah. Yep.
So, yeah.
Came to fulfill the prophet's dire predictions. Soon after Solomon's death, the 10 northern tribes rebelled and formed the northern kingdom of Israel. Then a powerful new enemy storms out of Mesopotamia to create the largest empire the Near East had ever known. The Assyrians. In 722 BC, the northern kingdom. Those who escaped death were exiled to Assyria, flooded south to Jerusalem.
Oh, and the fun thing is my truck's in the shop, or my truck's going into the shop tomorrow, so I'm actually off this week.
Nice.
So they picked the wrong week because I've got plenty of free time this week.
Yeah, he's going to duck you anyway.
Oh yeah.
David and Solomon continued to reign. One of them, Josiah, according to the Bible, finally heeded what the prophets prescribed. When forced to covenant, Josiah orders that
but that does mean I'll have another video either tomorrow or the next day about Vaughn because he can't keep my name out of his mouth.
Yeah.
The Babylonians ransacked the temple and systematically burned the sacred city. The Babylonian victors slated hundreds of
Yeah, he called me out tonight too, which means I have to make another video.
priests, prophets, and scribes, and dragged them in chains to Babylon.
The Shepherd of Hermes, a supposed revelation written by the brother of the Pope of Rome and actually read in Rome as scripture, reveals the secret revelation that the Tower of Babel was
The
actually
Shepherd of Hermes. I couldn't find that one.
Encyclopedia admits Rome's belief in syncretism with Babylonian religion, stating that it traces itself to ancient Babylon, quote, as due an original revelation, of which traces, albeit tainted with polytheism, appear among the Babylonians. End quote. In Babylonia.
Well, weren't the Babylonians polytheists?
I would think so, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that doesn't really say a whole lot.
Adopted as actually the ancient source of its church.
Constantine's Christ was Apollyon. Because there's scratches on his head or something? I don't understand how that right there is supposed to be Apollyon. Rome.
Apollyon being a Roman god, I guess.
The sun deity was the chief of all the gods and was interpreted by the Roman syncretists as literally their Jesus Christ. The ancient text of the Babylonian account of creation reads, quote, when Yah saw him, the Father who begot him, he exalted and glowed, his heart filled with gladness. He rendered him perfect and endowed him with a double godhead. Greatly exalted was he above them. He was the loftiest of the gods. Surpassing was his stature. His members were enormous. He was exceeding tall. My little son.
That sounds naughty. His members were enormous.
Yeah.
How many members did he have?
His emissions were great.
My little son, my son, the sun of the heavens, clothed with the halo of 10 gods. He was strong to the utmost, as their awesome flashes were heaped upon him. Anu brought forth and begot the fourfold wind, consigning to its power the leader of the host. End quote. It is falsely claimed by many scholars today that Genesis text was taken from the Babylonian account. These claims will be utterly demolished in a later video concerning, quote, creation myths, end quote. But as you will see, this is in reality an academic item created by Jesuit propaganda intended to promote mystery Babelism. It also therefore no surprise that it was after the
Babelism? Is that... I mean, is that generally referencing the Tower of Babel, or is that just some weird...
Babylonia, or Babylon.
Okay.
Babelism would be of Babylon. But, yeah.
Okay, so Babelism and Babylonian would be interchangeable.
Babelism, I think he made up, and I think he's referring to the culture of Babylon.
Okay.
Babylonian captivity.
It's confusing because Babylon's both a city and a country.
Okay, and this is some weird timeline. Earliest references, the Book of Jubilee, Synagogue, Genesis 1. I don't know how accurate that is, where if Genesis 1 came out approximately 1400 BC.
Seems super early. And I don't know where he would get that. We don't know.
I was about to say, because as far as I'm aware, what is it? The Book of Job was the oldest book in the Bible, wasn't it? Or as far as manuscripts go that we know?
Maybe that we've found. I think it's pretty well confirmed that the Pentateuch, the first 5 books, were written first.
Okay.
Because the others reference it. But as far as what we have, yeah, that's why we don't know when it was written, because it's just there's nothing left, man.
Yeah, I tried my hardest to look through the actual ages of each book, and as far as I could show, the oldest manuscript we have was for the Book of Job. So,
let's see. If you Google when was the Pentateuch written, it brings up about 6th century BCE, which is more along what I've always been taught.
Okay, so
500-600.
So this one over here should be around over in this area.
But again, that's best guess by scholars.
So the day creationism was not the only thing that emerged after the Babylonian captivity. The Bama houses, translated into English as the houses of the high place.
The houses of the high places. Okay, so he's sitting here talking about, I guess, the introduction of churches.
Wouldn't have called them churches.
Well, no, they would have been. I mean, if this is First and Second Kings, that would have been Hebrew, so they would have been synagogues, right?
Yeah.
End quote. Along with its non-Levitical ordained clergy, which had been said to be one of the reasons for the fall of Israel and its captivity under the Babylonians, emerged as a new religious institution in Israel called the synagogue. The synagogue institution.
Synagogue. There we go.
The synagogue of Satan.
Oh, but these are the synagogues of Satan.
Oh, the New Testament documents. Archaeologists have uncovered several of the earliest synagogues ever built in the Middle East, and to the amazement of both Christians and Jews. In the floor of these ancient synagogues are depictions of Baal, the sun god riding across the sky his chariot. And also in the mosaics of these floors, along with depictions of Baal as the sun god in his chariot transversing the sky, are images of the 7 solar days of creation. In other words, solar day creationism. It was during this.
See, I'm seeing a lot of.
When Baal, the sun god of Asherah, who was earlier worshipped in the.
I'm seeing a lot of actual things that could have very easily been copied to Christianity in these symbols.
Sacred Grove, is now being depicted in the floors of the ancient synagogues, along with Solar Day creationism. The earliest documentation of Solar Day creationism emerges in history, along with explanations of its interpretation of Genesis. This book, now known as the Book of Jubilees, was written by Jewish Solar Day creationist heretics, designed to actually replace the Book of Genesis, not simply reinterpret it as it is used today.
Oh, Solar Day creationist heretics. So not only does he think that G-Man is an occult, but apparently he's heretical.
If you think it was days, apparently.
Yeah.
Brought up, for example, concerning the problem of Cain's wife, the Book of Jubilees was quoted without fail to explain away these contradictions with the actual literal text of Genesis. It not only features prominently in Solar Day creationism, it is in a large measure historically responsible for its eventual dominance as the common interpretation of Genesis.
And remember, G-Man wanted me to watch this, folks.
This non-biblical book, even today, is often and repeatedly cited by Solar Day creationists in order to completely ignore the hard facts of the text in Genesis. Why is there such a fetish for this book?
And the KJV solar depiction of God.
Genesis, away from plain factual text. In fact, the Book of Jubilees was even referred to as the Lesser Genesis, i.e., Lesser Genesis. So in other words,
The Book of Jubilees, the Little Genesis.
Okay.
I've never heard of that one.
the first Genesis did not say what the people who wrote Lecture Genesis wished it to say. They needed another Genesis, a Genesis that placed the solar cycle at the center of creation. I see what the book of Jubilees was written to do. If it were not actually bad enough already, these writers attempted to actually replace the actual book of Genesis with this fraudulent work, claiming it to have been given to Moses prior to the book of Genesis. In fact, it was written during the intertestamental period. Thus, to the Jewish heretics promoting the book of Jubilees, they gave it more importance than even the biblical text of Genesis itself. This information is never given to the public when Solar Day creationists cite the book of Jubilees as justification for their interpretation. This behavior, however, would not be surprising, because this is essentially the same behavior of Masonic Solar Day creationists, even today, masquerading as Protestants/evangelicals.
Oh, Luciferian devil worshippers claim the Bible teaches their Masonic solar day creationism. Oh, so now I'm not the the Masonic evil atheist. He apparently G-Man's the Masonic creationist.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do virtually the same thing today with their Solar Day.
G-Man, if you actually get this far in, or if you manage to skip to somehow this part, your evidence is cherry picked and leading to your confirmation bias. Here's the proof.
Interpretations of Genesis from the Book of Jubilees, as their ancient Solar Day creationists' predecessors did from their beginnings. Until the discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls, the only surviving manuscripts of Jubilees were 4 complete Jewish texts dating to the 15th and 16th centuries, and quotations by Latin church fathers such as Epidemius, Justin Martyr, Dionysius of Tarsus, Isidore of Alexandria, Isidore of Seville, and Eutychius of Alexandria. There is also a preserved fragment of a Latin translation of the Greek that contains about a quarter of the text. The Ethiopic texts, now numbering 27, are the primary basis for translations of it into English. General reference works such as the Oxford Annotated Bible and the Mercer Bible Dictionary prove the work can be dated to 106 to 150 BC. This is the same period.
Oh, I remember now why I remember the Book of Jubilees. It's the incest book.
It's a what?
It's the incest book. Cain marries his sister, and they have a son, Enoch.
Oh, okay.
I forgot about that.
Became a source for the Aramaic Levi document. Jubilees remain the point of reference for priestly circles, although they disputed its
Sister Lilith?
References to this effect
A one.
1293, which
Oh.
on Jubilees.
Another, a daughter of Adam and Eve.
Later Jewish sources, including some 12th century Midrashim. The Ethiopian Jews still to this day regard the Jewish text of Jubilees as canonical. The Book of Jubilees was naturally held in high regard and quoted at length by Latin
That was probably it right there.
And it was the recovery of these truths from Genesis itself, and the history of its suppression in Vatican history by the Jesuits, that Protestant reformers, both in Europe and the United States, began to reject Solar Day creationism not by the thousands, nor the hundreds of thousands, but by
Well, here come the Jesuits.
Oh yeah, here we go.
evidence during the now infamous Scopes trials that the number of people who considered revolutionary interpretation of Genesis to be
Reformation Protestants began rejecting solar day creationism by the millions.
Okay.
the correct view number literally in the millions. However, Protestant reformers advocating a return to the most ancient interpretation of Genesis did in fact run into resistance, but this resistance was not generically from religion as you have been told. Since the Book of
Yeah,
Jubilees
they're talking about the
Solar Day
the Scopes trials.
reference point for later Masonic ritual and symbolism in the United States and the United Kingdom. And it was this doctrine of Solar Day creationism from the Book of Jubilees, not the Book of Genesis, that became the point of discussion.
Now, one thing I'm noticing about the way this guy actually is using his the cinematic skills, where he's trying to highlight certain things, but he's flashing them at you like a shotgun approach.
Yeah.
It's really hard to actually get it narrowed down to, just one argument.
Of Genesis during the 1800s, and also why today. The real background and context of this period of history is smothered under the loud public propagandizing by Jesuit counter-reformationists on behalf of Solar Day creationism, which is not the Protestant doctrine taken from
Tim LaHaye, co-founder of the Institute for Creation Research. And you see he's got creation crossed out in Solar Day creationism.
Yep.
of Genesis, but the doctrine of Jesuit counter-reformationists and Masonic Gnosticism masquerading as biblical teaching among today's modern Protestant evangelicals who no longer know their own history. Like the rapture doctrine itself is directly related to it. As you have seen in the video, the truth about the rapture, solar day creationism is in reality, but another deception by Jesuit counter-reformationists and Masonic Luciferians of historic proportion.
Nicolas Cage is the nephew of one of Hollywood's most powerful master masons.
Francis Ford Coppola. Yeah.
Yep.
Of course. Master Mason.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, Francis Coppola is, in fact, a Mason, but I'm pretty sure he's not like one of the most powerful ones.
Would have no idea.
It's also he's in negotiations with Tim LaHaye to promote a Hollywood production of his Masonic Rapture doctorate. Oh, good grief! Really? Apparently now it's Luciferian Freemasonry and Solar Day Creationism.
What is Luciferian Freemasonry?
I have no idea. Apparently this guy claims that Freemasons worship Lucifer.
Yep.
But I'm going to go ahead and let this play, but I'm going to slow it down just a hair.
Okay.
I need to go to the bathroom real quick. I'm going to go ahead and mute myself and just let this run for a sec.
All right.
I am born again.
Now, did you just say that you were Lucifer?
I am Lucifer.
Can you find Lucifer for me?
Pure, virtuous, wholesome, innocent individual that's out to help people.
Lucifer is? Say that again. Lucifer is a pure, holy,
Virtuous.
virtuous. Now, see the Lucifer that God created?
That's the same one.
The first major blow to the papal paradigm came in the 1600s. In 1615, the Roman Inquisition began its investigation of Galileo for heresy. Galileo defended his views in a writing entitled Dialogue Concerning the Two Chief World Systems, which appeared to attack Pope Urban VIII and thus alienated him from the papacy and the Jesuits. He was subsequently tried by the Inquisition and found vehemently suspect of heresy. He was forced to recant and spent the rest of his life under house arrest. The collapse of the geocentric model of planetary orbits undermined the claim that the throne of the papacy was the seat of Christ in the universe. It was after the emergence of the heliocentric solar system that much of modern Freemasonry was developed. The sun not only served as the center of the solar system in Freemasonry, but in keeping with Roman Nicolaitanism from Cianicus, the sun also served as the synthesis of all solar deities found throughout the ancient pagan Roman Empire and in Christian Europe under the new title of Jesus Christ. Following the emphasis of Babylonian theology on the creative role of the sun deity in creation, solar day creationism and the Masonic model of Christianity became a prominent feature of esoteric, sacred geometry and Masonic ritual. And while Protestant reformers in Western Europe saw the Yom Equal Age interpretation of Genesis being more accurate both to the text and modern science, it was Freemasonry, not religion, that now had a problem. A creation paradigm that relegated the role of the solar cycle to a minor place 70% already through the creation process with Freemasonry symbolism what the heliocentric solar system model had done hundreds of years earlier to the papacy. It undercut one of the most prominent and important primary symbolisms in Freemason esoterica. Instead of solar day creationism's sacred geometry, now being seen as an ancient secret wisdom in the exclusive possession of Masonic initiates, it was coming to be viewed as nothing more than another antiquated superstition along with Rome's geocentric model of planetary orbits. In response to this threat, it was the Freemasons who began to wage war against the unequal age interpretation of Genesis, not only among Protestant ministers as a valid movement of the scriptures, but among scientists as well, fighting the actual science of evolution itself. The Jesuits saw an opportunity to split Protestantism into the opposed camp, one of secular science, and the other of Masonic Protestant churches, thus using evolution as a sociological tool to drive the Protestant Reformation into the ground. Despite the fact that Lamarck himself had been a Jesuit, the vast body of Jesuits were as opposed to the Equal Age interpretation of Genesis as were the Freemasons, and cooperatively worked with Freemasons to destroy the credibility and influence of Protestant reformers developing both the science and theology of evolution in the 1800s. The Jesuit journal entitled La Civiltà Cattolica, which is Italian for Catholic civilization, routinely denounced evolutionary science as factitious and its theology as heretical in its articles. And it was the Jesuits working collaboratively with the Freemasons in both England, Germany and the United States that an assault was launched against it in the mid-20th century. It is no accident that if you look at all the historic efforts of opposition against evolution, they come consistently
Sorry about that.
from collaborative efforts. In England, the most famous opponent of evolution against Calvin was Freemason Samuel Wilberforce.
Okay, what part are we at?
Germany against Ernest Haeckel was the Freemasonic
Oh,
collaboration.
Darwin's heresy trial.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we got through all that.
Officials and attorneys who were openly known and rather
The solar-centric model.
of any famous religious opposition in our current history against evolution, where you will not also find equally involved the presence of the
Okay, so apparently Freemasonry is tied to the Protestants. The Jesuits are tied to the Catholics.
Wow.
And all of this is some weird plot by the Vatican to restore the Holy Roman Empire?
Sounds likely.
Yeah.
Freemasons are the Jesuits operating behind the scenes. This fact includes their actions right up to our own present day.
I mean, it's no wonder Vaughn agrees with all this stuff. This is like right up his alley.
It's, total conspiracy theory stuff.
He has made his own millions selling his name on salacious pulp fiction books written by other authors about the Jesuit counter-reformation doctrine known as the Rapture. All of it disinformation. While posing as a Christian fundamentalist,
My dog is apparently scratching, so I'm hearing thumping above me.
visible behind his own pulpit. It has also been noted frequently that many Masonic and Knight Templar symbols have been openly employed on the cover of his popular books without excuse or apologies. And in keeping with his work as a Jesuit counter-reformationist, it will be surprising to discover he is not accidentally the co-founder of the Institute for Creation Research, which is an organization dedicated to propagating solar day creationism, despite what his philosophy of Jesuit solipsism is typical for counter-reformationist thinking. The link between Valladolid Catholicism and Freemasonry with solar day creationism is made more than abundantly clear when one begins.
Hold on, let's see here. If what I see white, I believe to be black. If the hierarchical church, hang on a second, because get that symbol out of the way.
Yeah, so proclaims it to be, or whatever.
The Jesuit solipsism is typical for
Basically, if the church says it, define it to be.
That what I see white, I believe to be black. If the hierarchical church so define it to be. So basically, this right here is kind of that argument about, I don't remember who the heck said it, but it was, if somewhere in the Bible it said 2 + 2 is 5, I would just accept it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Reformationist thinking.
It's that kind of weird thinking.
Freemasonry with solar day creationism is made more than abundantly clear when one begins to examine the location of the scientific activity in the United States and who is behind it. In the following chart, you will see the level of Masonic membership in the United States.
Okay, Masonic membership in the United States. Hey, where's Oklahoma on this list? Oh, Oklahoma doesn't appear on this list. Oh, there it is. No, it's up near the top. Masonic membership, 9 per rank per population. So
that's rank. We're ninth among the 50. Our population rank was fairly low, I think, 28.
28th, yeah. So approximately 18% of people are. That's not too bad.
What's with all the negative numbers down there? There's a percentile. Whatever.
That's a good question.
How do you have negative 4% Masons?
I'm wondering how you have negative 40% or Masonic percentile, the total high, you've got negative 111%. Arizona doesn't know how to do math.
Masonic activity in the country to those which have the lowest. This ranking is shown from top to bottom. Next, you will see those states which have the highest level of Masonic membership in America shown at the top of the chart, created to indicate the top half of the country. In the non-shaded area, you will see those states which have the lowest level.
I do find it hilarious that the number 1 in the country right now is actually one of the poorest states in the country.
Yeah. Imagine that, Kentucky. Hi, Vaughn.
Next, you will be shown those states in America where laws have been passed which either forbid science teachers from teaching about evolution or require them to give equal.
Yeah, according to this, if Freemasons are pagan sun worshippers, then Vaughn would fit right in.
From this chart, in complete consistency with what is being shown to you in this video, 8 out of 9 states in America where the government is being used to enforce or protect solar day creationism come.
Well, no surprise there in Kentucky.
Yeah.
I'm actually glad Oklahoma didn't get turned red.
From states which have the highest Masonic membership in America. This link is no accident. Furthermore, it is also no accident that the single state in America found at the very top.
Okay. It says that all of these were found at the top of the list. And then it's got Kentucky, skip to Kansas, skip a bunch, and then a little bit further down. And then there were a couple here that weren't even in the top.
The single highest membership in the United States, the population, is also low, and behold the infamous home of the Canham Creation Museum. The same Creation Museum that is the subject of endless mockery on the internet by atheists, and unfortunately, much of that mockery is well deserved. It is also unknown to the general public, driven by Southern Jesuit values.
Ham and eggs. Ham
Yeah.
and eggs.
The founded Bible is read and interpreted by Jesuit values.
Ham and eggs.
Nor how it was
Yep.
actually read and understood by real Protestants and evangelicals in history.
Oh, I saw something. Back up just a second. There we go. Oh, okay. Origins of Protestant religions in America: New England Protestantism, Virginia Freemasonry, and then Valladolid Catholicism. And apparently, New England Protestantism was post-Reformation. They didn't have Christian. They were anti-slavery. They were free church. But yet, hold on a second, because that's Washington right there in the picture.
Yeah.
I'm aware that Washington was a Freemason. Why would Washington have signed a bill to have state churches when he was one of the ones that championed the Bill of Rights, which gave us the First Amendment?
Bad information.
Yeah, I think this guy's just throwing up random stuff and trying to use fear tactics and quick changes to mislead us. Okay, in the following chart, the connection between solar day creation and Freemasonry can be seen again. So you've got Jewish, Mormon, and Jehovah's Witnesses that are highlighted for some reason. Oh, okay. Religious differences on the question of evolution. So this is apparently these are the number of people that either agree with it or disagree with it. I'm assuming agree with it because you got Jehovah's Witnesses way down here at 8%.
Huh.
And most Jewish people I know, they accept evolution.
Yeah.
So with the 77 up here, I'm thinking this is agree with it over here. Chart shows the acceptance of evolution by religious denomination. At the very bottom of the chart are the Mormons and the Jehovah's Witnesses. Oh, almost half the population in this list. This was as of 2007.
Yeah, it's higher now.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's another claim that G-Man made too. Didn't he say like 70% of the people, or 70% of Christians actually believed in creationism?
Yeah, which is bunk. It's
Yeah.
the other. He's almost exactly backwards. More like 70% accept evolution. Mostly God-driven, but still accept it.
So
We see things change.
there's that picture again. It says, why are they hugging evolution, creationism, the same thing? So I'm going to reiterate, this is the video that, or this is the channel that G-Man wanted me, this is the Christmas is a Lie channel that G-Man wanted me to watch to supposedly debunk evolution or to debunk atheism.
Yeah.
And this next one is the Invisible Dialectic and the Bohemian Grove. It is even longer, and it's literally just a whole bunch of it's everything that we've already seen before.
Yep. I got to make a run anyway, so
Okay.
good watching it with you. We'll throw that back in his face. It'll be fun.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm at 2.5 hours now. I think I'm going to go ahead and do another stream sometime this week, and I will actually get into the truth about atheism, the other playlist.
Yeah.
Because now that I've actually got this where we've seen it, then we'll go ahead and get to the actual meat and potatoes of what G-Man's argument is.
Sounds good. Have a great night.
Yep.
Talk to you later.
You too. You have a good one. Blue, yes, I will be doing Vaughn sometime this week because, like I said earlier, he just can't seem to keep my name out of his mouth. And I gave him fair warning. That is exactly what I would do. I would respond if he decided to bring me up again. And I'm pretty sure it was just the other day when he tried to lump me in with, Gentleman Pioneer, G-Man, Black Guy TV, and Miss Parker, as apparently we're all being a bunch of racists. So that'll definitely happen. As for this, the Christmas is a Lie channel, that was absolutely hilarious. I really hope G-Man decides that he wants to, I'm going to go ahead and share this anyways. Shut up, you. There we go. going to go ahead and post this in the outside chat there. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that. If you guys want to, go ahead and take a look at this list. If you're the kind of people that like hate watching stuff, especially if you watch G-Man or Vaughn, I definitely recommend checking out his Truth About Evolution and the Truth About Atheism, because those are the ones that G-Man thinks proves his point, but in fact just proves that he cherry picks and he's got a severely bad case of confirmation bias. As for that, I'm going to go ahead and get me some sleep. I've got to go drop my truck off at the shop tomorrow, so I am going to go ahead and get a good night's sleep for that. You guys have a good one. Eat your meat. It's good for you. And